Start recording again. All right. All right. What's up, everyone? I'm Sam from Team SunnyDaze, and here we have the rest of Team SunnyDaze here for episode 1 of the SunnyDaze podcast. Which we're not sure why we're doing this entirely, but there's a lot of cards from Modern Horizons that are playable, and instead of doing a set spotlight like we normally do, we're just going to do an entire set review. So here with me is team member Bilsiv,
Yo.
Michael,
Uh-huh.
and Vincent.
Hey
guys.
All right. So it's already 11 p.m. So we are going to. I'm sure it's even later for Will. What time is it for you, dude?
Yeah, you're an idiot.
You're so stupid, Sam. It's 10
What?
o'clock for It's literally 10 o'clock for Will.
Oh, yeah, I am kind of stupid. I was like,
So
you're in
dumb.
Texas. It must be 1 a.m. All right. But anyway, let's start with the first card in Modern Horizons. We're going to be going Wooburg order. So we're starting with Abiding Grace, which is an enchantment for 2 and a white. At the beginning of your end step, choose one. You gain a life or return a creature with mana value 1 from your graveyard to the battlefield. Does this card do anything?
Martyr proc. Pog.
Martyr proc?
Also, I saw people talking about how you can return Spore Frog with it online. It's
Spore
not
Frog.
good.
Is
but
that Modern Legal?
Worse than Martyr proc.
It is. It was in
Yeah, it
Horizon.
is Modern Legal.
Okay.
Yeah, it
It's
was
just
in
Martyr proc and Martyr proc.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it only costs 3 mana once instead of 3 mana every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like kind of good.
This is a strictly better proclamation of rebirth, basically.
Yes.
Will it change the
It's-
modern
it does
format?
not hit-
No.
Yeah, that deck
I'd
is
like
still
to see more people playing Martyr proc. It'd be
Yeah.
sick. Shout out to our boy John Chambers, dude.
All right, I'm in. All right, next card. Arcbound Javelineer is for white, an artifact creature soldier, 0/1. It has tapped to remove X counters from it. It deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature, and it has modular 1. Michael?
This card is not playable in it.
It is. I agree. It is not playable. It doesn't do anything relevant for scales, so it's fair to say it doesn't do anything at all. Any objections?
Nope.
All right. Next card is even more unplayable. Arcbound Mauser for white, a 0/0 with modular 1 and lifelink.
Unplayable, don't read it, please.
Don't read it.
I slow down. I think this card is closer to playable in scales than Akbar Javelinia.
Sure. Like if you're already splashing white, then like.
If there's like there's been shitty white green scale stacks since the banning of the good card, and I think this card is probably fine in that deck. I'm not saying it's anywhere close enough to
Honestly, I think the Javelineer is more playable than this, though, right? The Javelineer is a 1/2 that like also has a relevant tap ability as opposed to
No,
just
so
lifelink.
Vinny, that is where you're getting confused. The ability is irrelevant on Javelier, but on Mouser, making like a 4/4 lifelinker makes Bird, which has been like a kind of a rough matchup for skills, like just very good.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played much of Scales. I don't know how the random is, but I trust you.
Lifelink is definitely more relevant than like tap to ping stuff.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Like I could see this being a fine replacement for Arcbound Worker if the metagame calls for you to be splashing white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next card, Arcbound Prototype, 1 and a white, 0/0 modular 2, unplayable.
Don't read it.
Bard.
Stop reading comments, please, Sam.
Okay, I guess. Barb's.
I think the next playable card is Blossoming Calm.
Yeah.
Do you not want to talk about Barbed Spike?
It's got cool art.
It has
It's
not.
a
It
thopter.
does look like a nice ornithopter. I'll give him that.
It's a Thopter token.
Blossoming Flame is sick. It's basically gain 7 life
Yeah.
for 1 life.
Blossoming Calm.
Yeah, this
is
card
for...
looks nice.
Yeah. Shut up, Vincent. Again. Blossoming Calm is for white and instant. You gain hexproof until your next turn. You gain 2 life, and it has rebound. This is 1 mana gain 7 essentially against burn.
Yeah, that people tried playing the 1 and a white prevent 3 damage, gain 3 life in the past from Dominaria, and it just wasn't that good.
Yeah, this looks better than Healing Salve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely Healing Salve. Not Healing Salve. That's the card from Alpha.
Oh, whatever the one from.
Yeah. Yeah, the card I just said.
Yeah.
The best on-rate life gain spell ever printed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I still don't know like what deck plays this.
Maybe like white red prowess, like with Lumimancer or something for like the mirrors. I don't know.
Yeah, that actually
I
It's two
don't think
spells,
this
right? Like
prowess or control. Control usually is better cards it can play.
yeah,
notably this does hit like Thoughtseize.
yeah.
So
Like
when
you
you play the
played
combo, like
timely because it was better in other matchups too, like John. Whereas this, it really
so
isn't.
what I'm saying is I think in theoretically some white combo deck could play this card.
Yeah, it also stops Thought Season combo.
Yeah, so like you can play this as a card for your burn matchup that also hits Thoughtseizes against those decks.
Sure, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to talk about break ties? I don't think so.
Probably not.
I think the art's kind of cool.
I think
was
reinforce is a
put
cool
on
ability.
Origins deck.
I like that ability quite a bit.
Yeah. It's two.
I really wish this card cost one less.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
it'd be
I
really good.
think-
That would be that'd be a really sweet card.
It's like really weird to me that green keeps getting better and better naturalizes, and then white's still's best disenchant effect is disenchant.
Yeah,
Excuse me. The
Well-
best white one is a green-white split one.
Oh my god, shut up, Sam.
No, because I can play it out for disenchant, and it is worth hundreds of dollars.
Oh, and that one's only worth
That's the
10
one-
cents.
That one also
Oh,
gets hit by Aether Gust and Flash Freeze.
Pog.
You're a brick.
Pog.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in. All right. Next card. Esper Sentinel.
Yeah, this card's sweet.
1 mana, 1/1. It's white. It's an artifact creature, human soldier, and whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, you draw a card unless they pay X, where X is its power.
Yeah, this is the best white card in the set by a wide margin.
I tend to agree.
I'm excited to put some counters in this with Thalia's Lieutenant.
I'm excited to
So-
just cast it.
in vintage.
That too.
So this card is clearly good in humans. It's basically another Thalia in the early game that does have a nice little synergy, as Vinny said, with Lieutenant. This card I'm pretty sure is in vintage paradoxical outcome as the Mystic Remora style card. It is good in multiple legacy decks, I think. I think this card is absurdly pushed.
Yeah, it's definitely pushed. Like, although like humans already has a lot of trouble with putting more and more X1s into their deck due to Plague Engineer, this is definitely still going to make the cut. It's going to take the place of some amount of the Thalias and the Freebooters.
Like, if you think about the play patterns in this card for just like humans, like you'd play this on turn one against, let's say, Jund. They look at their lightning bolt at hand, and it's like, do they play like shock, like blood crimp bolt it, and then do just uppercut? So they probably have to pass. So maybe they play a tap line, and if you untap and play a fucking Thalia, they're just dead.
They just have to like draw a card at that point.
So
It's insane.
this is I think pretty consistently a one white for draw for 2-for-1, and
Yeah, it's kind of like an Elvish Visionary.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like, obviously it's not a Thalia
like a
against the
one-mana
control
Elvish
decks,
Visionary.
but
and then there's also just the scenario where your opponent doesn't have the kill spell.
and it just
then they-
becomes a Thalia.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
especially
if it doesn't have a kill spell, you're going to win with your humans deck anyway.
Sure, that's reasonable.
but like older formats, if your opponent's playing Storm and you're playing like D&T, they don't have kill spells.
Well, I mean, I don't think this deck is as good against Storm as like a traditional Holy effect.
Well, so what I'm
Yeah,
saying
because
is,
if they know they're gonna
like-
kill you, they just let you draw infinite cards if you know
so like,
forces.
let's say you're playing against Ant, which is like a turn 3 deck.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to let you draw 1 or 2 cards if you play this.
I mean, Ants hasn't been played. Ants has been pushed out for the turn 1/2 combo decks.
it still sees some amount of play. It sees more play than test right now.
I mean, even if they let you draw 3 cards, does it matter if they're just killing you, right? Like,
I mean, you're drawing to Stinctum, Prelates, and Thalias, right?
not if they kill you.
I mean, so you have Ether Vials in your deck, so you can flash these kind of cards in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's a kind of a weird trap argument to say card draw is bad because they might kill you. They're going to have to cast cantrips to set up, right? It's not like the deck just always has.
Yeah, no, I still think it's good, but I agree with the point that Bilson was making. That's like it's worse than a traditional Thalia effect against like the hard
I'm
combo.
not arguing this is better than Thalia against Ant. I'm just saying this is.
Yeah, no, I know. I was
Alright,
just agreeing with
we're
Bill.
not gonna- Let's move
This
on.
card is
Yeah,
closer to. I think this card is closer to Thalia 5 through 8 than you're giving it credit for.
Yes.
No, I think it is too. I agree.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
next card. Let's just say a word about Healer's Flock, which is for white, a 3/3 flying lifelink. It's
If this was a soldier, it would go into soldier sloppy, but it's not, so it's unplayable and everything.
yeah, the creature type bird
It's
isn't
super sweet
relevant.
though. Yeah.
I like it. It's a nice
Yeah.
card.
It's actually relevant for my bird commander deck sim.
Oh, okay. All right, bye, Vincent.
What's your British manager deck match up against Gitlog and Niv?
All right. All right. Next card, Lens Flare. It's just worse than other options Affinity has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lens Flare.
this-
Lens Flare is for 4 and a white, and instant affinity for artifacts. Deal 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature.
Card is mildly interesting for Pauper Affinity. I don't think it's good enough, but it could be.
Is
that's interesting. It's uncommon,
Is
yeah.
the white card the
It's
one with
uncommon, yeah.
Metalcraft? That's an uncommon.
Yeah, it dispatch is uncommon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't think that your deck's mana is ever good enough, and I don't know. Pauper Affinity is like a pretty powerful deck, and I don't think this quite makes the cut.
Sure.
Yeah,
This
Pauper
is really
Affinity is slamming
cohesive with, like,
7
the
blocks
plan.
on turn 1 the whole game now. Especially after this set. You get an extra Mirror Enforcer later on, we'll look.
Yeah.
And next one, you enforce that, and relevantly, you get like significantly better mana.
Yeah. It's going to be
Yeah.
interesting. We'll get to that in a bit when we get to the artifact section. Next.
I just want to say, Late for Dinner's artwork is fucking dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Super sick.
yeah, it's not playable, but we're going to see some more playable white Reanimator-esque cards.
Next card, Out of Time.
Yep. Out of
Yeah.
Time is for 1 white, an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, untap all creatures, then phase them out until Out of Time leaves the battlefield. Put a time counter on Out of Time for each creature phased out this way, and it has Vanishing, which is an ability that says at the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter from it, and when the last one is removed, sacrifice the enchantment.
Yeah, this is basically an upgrade over Bantu's Reckoning. Bantu's Lost Words for
Last Reckoning.
Lost Reckoning.
Yeah. So-
Lost Reckoning for like ad nauseum style decks.
Yeah, a lot of combo decks like this effect at 3 mana.
Oh, it hits your opponent's stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
Correct.
noticed that. Yeah, no, that's sick. Okay.
It's
I was
basically
really
updated
confused.
Parallax Wave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That makes me way more interested in this card. Okay, that's super sick. I like
pretty
that a lot.
Yeah. Not a lot
It's
to
not
talk else
playable
about
in
it.
anything besides a combo deck, but I think it is pretty good. in combo.
Yeah, no, but I it's a cool option for combo sideboards for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Do we care about Piercing Rays at all?
I don't see what possible deck you'd ever play this card.
I don't
in,
know.
So.
It's a
I'm gonna draft it a lot.
yeah. Okay. All right. Next one is Prismatic Ending, which is for white and an X sorcery with Converge. Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast this spell.
Yeah, this card is really interesting.
Yeah. It's like a pretty
Do you-
versatile white removal spell. I'm in.
Do you guys see it as like a main deck card or a sideboard card?
I think this is a sideboard card.
Yeah, that's where I tend to fall in it.
It's better than Path to Exile, but right now, almost all of the creatures in Modern get by Fatal Push, so a deck like Esper is still going to play that over Prismatic Ending.
And there's not a lot of artifact combo or prison decks that you need to worry about dealing with artifacts, so
What
Yeah, that
is
makes sense.
interesting about this card is it's non-land permanence, so it's really good against, like, we're going to talk about an Enchantress deck later on, and Affinity and stuff like that, that are probably going to
Yeah.
pop up.
yeah.
So the biggest thing I see for this card is like Snow Code, or not Snow Code, but Snow Miracles and Legacy has like not like this is a good answer to like cards like Chalice in the Void in it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like
Oh
that.
yeah, this is a great answer to Chalice of the Void.
Because you can just pay, even if you only have 2 white mana, you can pay white and exile a Chalice.
Yeah, it's great. Next card is Sanctifier and Vec, which is for white a
I want to
2/2.
talk about.
No, we do not want to
Richard.
talk about the suspend card.
I think it's worth at least talking about. Even like
Sure.
Sure. So Resurgent Belief is for suspend 2, 1 and a white sorcery. Return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield.
I saw like decks playing this similar to Living End, but like instead of bringing back a bunch of creatures, you just brought back a bunch of like lay claims and cast outs. I don't think it's awful.
Lake. Oh, sure.
Yeah,
those
no.
replenish cards.
Yeah, that seems pretty awful to me. I'm gonna be.
Shark Typhoon.
Yeah, it played 4 Shark Typhoons too.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Legacy replenish deck,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
But you have to play As Foretold, which is my problem with all these suspend cards.
yeah. And As Foretold is just not a good Magic card.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be like tier 1, but it might be like a tier 2, 3 deck. I don't know.
Sure. All right, let's
All
move
right.
to a playable card. Sanctifier and
Yeah,
Vec is for
yeah.
white, a human cleric, pro black and red. When it enters the battlefield, exile all cards that are black and red from all graveyards. And if a black or red permanent, spell, or card not on the battlefield will be put into a graveyard, exile it instead.
Yep.
This is
Basically, with all of your humans or white aggro decks, you get to decide between Core Firewalker, Sanctifier, and
Or
the other
Champion.
one,
Yeah.
Aria Champion, based on whether you think, Dredge or Mono Red or Shadow is the most good.
like you're still going to be bringing this in against any Lurrus Shadow deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is nice. It's like kind of like I think it's the best graveyard hate for like the like Hammer Time deck to sideboard in.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like Hammer Time and humans.
Yeah.
That's one.
Notably, this is a 2/2 instead of a 1/1, which is like
Yeah. It's also,
It's pretty sweet.
pretty relevant.
Would you guys like bring this in against like Mono Red Obosh? Like, would you still bring this effect in? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I suspect, but yeah.
Like I wouldn't cut
Turns
like
off-
core pieces of the deck for it. Like if we already
Yeah, but
have-
it's still just a 2/2 protection from your deck, so it's still good.
And
yeah.
it also hits Lava, right?
which is hot.
Even
Yeah.
against them.
Oh, true. Yeah, I'm in.
All right. So next playable card, Sarah's Emissary. Emissary is for 4 white, a 7/7 angel with flying. When it enters the battlefield, choose a card type, and you and creatures you control have protection from that card type. One of the themes in Modern Horizons is giving us black and white reanimator pieces, and this seems to be the best non-legendary card that we can reanimate, which is a theme. Non-legendary is part of the theme for this set to enable in Modern.
When would we want something like this over Iona?
When it's when
So, like,
we're
you
casting
can-
persist, which says non-legendary.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, when you're casting Persist and when you're casting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't think that that's what I want to be doing with those cards. I think it wants like to be something closer to Bubble Hulk, but yeah.
Yeah, like
So there's a non-zero chance you end up playing a just traditional reanimated style deck. The interaction between Unlocked Grave and like Unreal Lights is big enough that
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see playing like one of
yeah,
this.
and there are enough playable white we're gonna get to a white black creature that reanimates stuff. There's enough tools in white black reanimator for it to possibly exist. All right, so now we get to
two of these. Sorry, just like real quick, two of these like lock out most modern decks.
yes.
Yeah, I'm not like super worried about that, but yeah, like that
It's
is.
pretty nice.
I agree. One of my main issues with with these versions of the reanimator decks is in Legacy you could just refuel with a Grizzlebrand, but in this deck you're gonna have to spend a lot of resources to put the card in your graveyard and then reanimate it, and they don't generate any sort of advantage. They just put a lock into play.
Yeah.
Like if we can't reanimate Grizzlebrand or Jin-Gitaxias. Oh my god, I can't speak.
Jin-Gitaxias.
Jin-Gitaxias. Yeah.
Jin Gitaxias?
Yeah,
And,
probably.
It's like Gitaxian Probe. However you say Gitaxian Probe, you say Gitaxian Probe. It doesn't matter. It's the same.
Who the fuck says Gitaxian probe?
Yeah,
I say Gitaxian
I
Probe.
would
I
like
say
to-
Gitaxian Probe.
Sociopaths say
think
Gitaxian.
and that.
I say Jin-Gitaxias and I say Gitaxian Probe.
All right, Vincent.
This is the final straw.
The theme of the episode. Okay, Vincent.
My bird command deck wasn't enough.
Nope. All right, now let's talk about Solitude. Solitude is part of the broken cycle in this set. It's for 3 white, a 3/2 flash lifelink elemental incarnation. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to one other target creature. That creature's controller gains life equal to its power. And this card has Evoke. Exile a white card from your hand. No mana cost connected to the Evoke. Free spells.
Pogatude.
Unconditional free spells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to ephemerate this card.
Yeah, this is one
Or
of the
cast
free
it in
spells that is
shadow.
good with Ephemerate.
Black, white, crack.
Black, white, crack.
Yeah, black white 8 Evoke crack with like 8 Malakir, like 4 ephemerate, 4 Malakir birth. Like that might just be a deck.
Which one's Malakir Birth is the land that like
It's
puts
the
it back
land
into
one
play.
that also ephemerates. Yeah, like, it doesn't ephemerate, but it puts it back into play. Yeah.
Yeah. like the issue with the interaction between that card and Grief, which is a card we're going to talk about. I'll talk about that when we get to Grief. That's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
this card's
this-
just really good. Like if you
Yeah, this
compare
card's
this with like
very good.
Restoration Angel, it's broken. If you pair it with Ephemerate, it's
Yeah.
broken. If you just use it as a instant speed Swords to Plowshares that your Death Shadow opponent can't deal with, they just lose on the spot.
Yeah, this card's gonna like single-handedly
Uh,
invalidate Shadow, I think, for a while.
I don't
Like
think-
I just don't want to play Shadow
Like-
deck with this card in the format.
I don't know how much of this card is going to exist in Modern. If this card does take up like 5 to 10% of the metagame, then yeah, you might not want to be on Shadow as much as you were. But I don't really see a lot of shells this is currently great in. Obviously
Oh, I
taxes,
kinda disagree.
but I don't think
Like,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't know if there's necessarily decks that this is good in already, but I think it's gonna make decks. Like I think the card is very powerful.
You think it's what type of decks you think it's going to make?
Like probably some kind of blue-white control shell or like blue-white mid-range shell.
Just
And,
like blue white mid range resto wall of omens.
Yeah, I think black-white like crack like we were talking about might play like Solitude's Griefs, Ephemerates, Malakir. I think that might be a deck too.
Sure.
I think the only issue with making a deck around this is there's enough decks in Modern that just don't care about creatures.
Yeah, but that's why
like-
you play both, right? Like I think you play both Solitude and Grief, so you kind of
I'm just
have
saying,
one
like,
that is good against.
I mean, Grief is better against all of them. People like having cards in hand, but like, I think if you go all in on a Solitude deck and you just get paired into like,
Yeah, I don't want to go like all in
Admirals,
Solitude, but like
or
I think it's gonna
Control.
see a lot of play.
You just play 4 Solitude and 4 Grief in your deck. This is not like a debate.
Yeah, this isn't like a
there's definitely the only debate is how much it's going to see play, and if it is a popular deck, Shadow's either going to have to play cards like Blossoming Defense.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that
I
card
mean,
is.
they just play. It does Apostle's Blessing stops this, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That also works.
Yeah, that's probably the best option.
I mean, at that point, you should just probably not play Shadow. But
No,
No, I think that's
you-
reasonable. Apostle's Blessing is a
So
pretty
what-
playable card.
no Apostle. I played Shadow List.
Yeah.
Apostle's Blessing, but like Apostle.
I mean, I played like all in. I played like the
Solitude.
more all in Shadows list with Apostle's Blessing,
Yeah.
but not like the.
It's a pretty big blowout. If you counter this card, or like you are down, you just didn't get 2 for 1, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just a free roll.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like
And I also don't
this
think,
card.
like this. I also don't think this card is really good by itself. Like playing like against like Hanzo or like Judd, it's like kind of awkward
Yeah.
playing a card that informs you. So
Yeah,
you really need to get like combo with it, right?
Yeah, this card's just
Yeah.
really bad against anything that's not Shadow or like Burn.
Yeah. If against anything where you care about the cards that you have, the card's not that good.
Yeah. And a lot of the matchups where you don't care about cards in your hand or like other combo or whatever matchups where this card just doesn't do anything. Period. Which is
I mean,
another
like
issue.
it's good against the creature combo decks, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's like really good against the creature. It's absurd against decks like Heliod.
Yes, sir. Why does this card have flash and the red one doesn't? Who
No,
knows?
the world may never know.
Yeah.
This card is like is like a pretty feast or famine kind of card.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Do you want to discuss Timeless Dragon? It's really good on rate, but it's probably not modern power level.
I think like,
All right.
I think
Yeah. So Timeless Dragon is for 3 white, a 5/5 flying dragon with plane cycling 2 and eternalize 2 white.
So if it's in your graveyard, pay 4 mana, get a 4/4 flyer. As
Yeah.
plane cycling, you get it there. If not, it's a 5 mana 5/5 flyer.
so this card is like kind of interesting in like mid-range controlling decks because it fixes your mana, which is like pretty big. And if you're going like for the super late game, you can cycle this again a trial and then a trial.
Yeah. It doesn't have basic plane cycling. It just has plane cycling, which is great. Yeah. Next
Karmic
card. Yeah.
Guide. Bubble
Karmic
Hole.
Guide. Karmic Guide is for 3 and a white, a 2/2 flying protection from Black Angel. It has Echo 3 white, and when it enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Someone said Bubble Hulk.
Bubble
Bubble
Hole.
Hulk.
Bubble Hulk.
Bubble Hulk.
Yeah. Just another
For
piece
those
in
of
your
you
bubble
who don't
combo.
know
Another
things,
another white card that you can just use
So-
to reanimate things randomly.
So for
Yeah,
people
super sick.
who don't know how Bubble Hulk works, there's a card called Protein Hulk that when it dies it gets total CMC 6 or
6 levels.
less. And puts
From your
6.
library
Yeah.
and
land
puts them into
from your
play.
hand. Yeah,
Yeah. So
and
you get this into sack outlet like Vasira Seer,
yeah,
and
and
then
then
you
you
get your
get back
bubble
the
Hulk, you get your
Hulk.
Hulk, and then you do it again, and
Get
you
it.
eventually kill through whatever because you're basically infinite.
Yeah.
I saw
You
like
get
a
it.
loop that used like the goblin cards to kill. I think
It
Trap
only
posted it.
you use KQGK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know like what's the best
Kill is
kill, but there's
is you do
Macias Walking Ballista works.
Matthias
yeah,
Walking.
I saw that one.
It's easier than Kiki Jiki. It takes up less slots.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say whatever one takes up less slots is gonna say most play.
Yeah. This card doesn't really have a ton of application in Modern besides in those combo shells, but
Yeah, no, no one's gonna try and play this fairly, you know.
yeah, like Taxes
This-
doesn't really care about this effect.
Yeah,
Before we move on real quick, I think Unbound Potential is probably good in mono white Shadows and Pauper.
Okay. Unbound Potential, 1 in a white instant.
Uh.
Choose one, put a 1/1 counter on 2 target creatures you control. Proliferate, and has Entwine for 3 in a white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The deck
that seems very reasonable.
plays a lot of shitty other cards.
Sure.
And I think I would not be shocked if this made a card as a 1 or 2 of.
Yeah, it seems fine on rate. Like, the Proliferate part doesn't excite me alone. Like, it's just like split card, 1 in a white,
I
3 in a
mean,
white.
you're playing it because it puts two. It's a 2-mana geared for battle. Like
Yeah.
that's an instant. Like
Heroic Gober.
yeah.
Alright. Playable white card. Seal of Cleansing. 1 in a white. Enchantment. Sacrifice Seal of Cleansing. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Great reprint.
Yep. Loris, Ursa,
Luris.
enchantment.
I think it's pretty nice that they're putting a ton of enchantments into the format, and then they're putting a card that goes both into that enchantment deck most likely, and that is a safety valve against the enchantment in case
Yeah.
the deck shows are too good.
Yeah. This is a nice safety valve. It's also great against, like, preemptively dealing with Blood Moon, kind of like what Amulet used to do with Seal of Primordium. Like, although the white decks in Modern are typically 1 or 2 colors, so you're not going to have as much of a hard time against Blood Moon, it's still a good effect.
Green white Reformer. I play this.
This card also is just like
Yeah.
a lot better than it looks. It's like
It was in the best
incredible.
vintage deck of all time.
It's probably the
It was-
it's,
yeah,
it-
it is-
it's probably the best
It was in the
disenchant we have in
vintage
Modern.
deck, and it was also played in like a legacy deck, that a couple legacy decks that like from now and then it got banned into a. It was banned from. It was played in the Breach deck that got banned. It's like
Yeah.
a deceptively powerful card.
Yep. All right. I want to skip Solitary Confinement because that's like a long card. Let's just go over Soul Snare. Soul Snare is for white and enchantment. It has white, sacrifice Soul Snare. Exile target creature that is attacking you or a planeswalker you control. It's a good removal spell with Luris.
It might be
I
interesting.
think if there's a Lurrus control deck, this card could be good.
Yeah. Also, I think it's like on thrice, like 5 and 6 in the Enchantress deck.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's
This card's
reasonable.
probably good in Enchantress. I think I would not be shocked if like someone caught like Jace into Fairy from the blue white control deck and played some Lewis's of these.
Yeah.
It's a pretty powerful card.
Yeah, I'm in. Solitary Confinement. 2 and a white, enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Solitary Confinement unless you discard a card. Skip your draw step. You have Shroud and prevent all damage that would be dealt to you.
Yeah. So this is the deck this is the card that makes Enchantress playable. You're basically immune as long as you have 2 Enchantresses in play. You'll be able to win through the discard effect and not having a draw step.
Yes.
I think this is going to this is going to be the most hotly contested archetype. I think on the thing about whether or not we think it's good. I'm fairly convinced it's unplayable.
Yeah, Gabriel Nassif posted a list on Twitter that I saw. It used Solitary Confinement, Life from the Loam, and Cycle Lands to
So his
circumvent
list looked
the downside.
significantly better than an actual Enchantress deck.
Yeah. It was just like
Um,
control cards, counterspell. It only had like 5 cards in the main deck that were printed in the past like 3 years or whatever, but it still looked good.
mhm.
Yeah. Swamp Confinement's gonna be pretty decent in Modern. I'm excited.
Yeah. Um, I, I also think this is just not a good effect for modern. Like,
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna
I don't
cause
know.
some
I think
issues. If it's like good, it's gonna be an issue.
yeah. I one it makes events go a lot longer. I
Yeah,
never
that's
like
not
it
great.
when like for paper events that like time going up and it's
Yeah, the first open I played where War Prison was 7% of the field. The rounds were a little long.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
yeah.
All right.
I don't think that's great.
Do you want to move on to blue?
Sure.
All right.
Yep.
Dress Down is for 1 and a blue, an enchantment with flash. When enters the battlefield, draw a card. Creatures lose all abilities at the beginning of the end step. Sacrifice Dress Down. Now what the?
Before we do anything else, is this guy hot? I cannot tell if he's hot.
I don't. He's like kind of ripped.
He,
Like
he's
Yeah,
like
but his
work
face
jacked. Not like gym jacked, but like
no, he's like a day labor jack, right?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm zooming in
Yeah.
on the image right now. Yeah,
Yeah, this is important.
He's like
Very
I don't like his hair.
his hair it's weird because I think that he had like a bandana going on to like hide him, but it looks like he has a pretty weak hairline.
Yeah, I agree.
Vinny, do you have any thoughts?
Is Vincent
I'm in.
gone?
That's all I can say.
Okay, good talk.
I think Vincent's gone.
Sick. Okay. So,
All right.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
let's talk about this card actually.
okay.
I haven't actually taken a lot of time to evaluate this card. I don't know what this card does in
Card
the
is hard to
context of
evaluate.
Modern.
So this card reminds me a lot of Hollow to Moonlight. Mm-hmm. It's weird to be an enchantment. I don't know if that's for like a limited archetype or something. Like for the enchantment that is.
Something Luris, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that good with Lewis though, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't cast it on your opponent's turn.
It doesn't even stop like triggered abilities of things entering the battlefield or whatever.
It does.
And then you have to do it in response. Yeah,
Well, it's the
okay.
same way blood.
No,
Moon
you're
does.
right. Yeah, okay. I meant activated abilities, but yeah. I was thinking yeah.
Yeah. So it stops. So this counters all the like flash, all the force creatures in the set.
That's pretty sweet. How does it work with evoke? Does the creature stay in
If you
play?
evoke it,
If you evoke it, doesn't the creature stay in play if you cast a dress down?
it does not.
It does not. It'll still get evoked.
Yeah, because evoke is like a cost of the creature. It's like a different casting cost.
Sure. Okay.
I'm also only like 90% sure of this. I could just be mistaken, but I'm like pretty confident.
Okay.
Even with all of that, I just don't think this card's good.
Yeah, I don't see where this actually fits into modern.
Oh, I guess this also kills Skyclave after. No, it doesn't. Oh, this card's kind of sick in shadow.
Yeah, you can
If
just
you
cast
use
it 1 and a
Shadows
blue,
13,
and
then you use Skyclave Operations 2020s.
you mean Scourge of the Skyclaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does just
Yeah.
make Scourge of 2020. That's kind of sick.
Yep. That is
That's probably not good enough, but I definitely go to like on stream try to play dress down combo with Scourge.
no. Yeah, I'm in. All right, next card. Fractured Sanity is for blue, a sorcery with cycling 1 and a blue. It says each opponent mills 4 cards, and when you cycle it, each opponent mills 14 cards and has cycling 1 and a blue, and when you cycle it, each opponent mills 4 cards. This card's pretty decent.
Yeah, this makes Mill slightly better.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't change the problems of Mill. Like, Mill already didn't really have too much of an issue with Leyline. It got a lot of cards that circumvented Leyline, and this is just no different.
I mean, the Mill also got a black creature, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if Mill Mechanics popped up for a little bit again.
Yeah. Just keep
I
Mill in
think Mill
mind.
intrinsically is Mill's intrinsically a deck that can never be T1 for too long.
Yeah, there's just way too many Nene cards against it. Hard Evidence is for blue a sorcery, create a 0/3 crab, and investigate. This card's Poggers.
I don't know if
Crab.
Mill doing this could make a joke about your penis being hood.
I was not making a joke about my
So I
nice
like
penis.
low-hanging jokes. They're funny.
It was very funny. Thank you, Michael Plummer. If only Vincent was here to laugh at you.
Yeah.
Rest in spaghetti. All right, Inevitable Betrayal is another suspend
It
card.
has suspend, so it is not playable. Can we go to the next one?
Yeah, it says suspend, so it's not playable.
Okay. All right, now that Vincent's not here, we can skip all the suspend cards.
Yeah.
No, we can't skip them. We have to say they're unplayable.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we still have to talk about it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, it's a blue sorcery. Suspend 3, 1 blue. Search target opponent's library for a creature
Please
card,
slow down.
put it into the
Can you keep the
battlefield.
rules for suspend, please.
No, shut up, Michael.
Search target opponent's library for a creature card and put it into play. Shuffle then that player shuffles. I can't say shuffle their library anymore. I'm not allowed. This card doesn't do anything.
Wait, what? I've never. Did they change that for all cards?
Yep, they no longer say shuffle. They never say shuffle your library or shuffle their library. It just say shuffle. Isn't it great?
They're changing
Oh, bye,
So
Vincent.
I
For
got it
real.
when they. Okay, so I got it when they changed or his or hers to there.
Nice.
It was more inclusive, and it also was just less words.
Yeah.
Mana value pisses me off because I'm an entrenched player.
This is
Then
just
shuffles
stupid.
Shuffles what? Shuffles their hand? Shuffles their lands? It doesn't say. It's hanging.
They just get out of their chair and just fucking do the shuffle.
Yeah,
I stack your deck while you shuffle.
So is primary legal in modern?
Library
it's
is in
not.
fact legal in modern. It is printed in 9th edition.
Oh, it costs 5. Oh, wait, no, it's not legal in modern.
It definitely is legal in modern.
It costs
Well,
5.
but US 1,000 ticks. Anyway.
No, but it costs 5. It's not legal in modern.
Oh, true.
Oh, ha ha ha.
I get it.
Registered
All right.
there are multiple tiered decks that register multiple 5-drops.
The only time this will ever be playable is if you are playing a As Foretold deck, and there's a lot of Emrakuls in the format.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I don't know. It feels weird to make a set designed for modern and put this card in it.
Yeah.
When it's so clearly not playable.
Yeah. I don't know
Because
who this
similar
is for.
suspend cards- I don't know. It feels weird to me.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Suspend ruin
Suspend Ruin what?
magic.
That's a take. Okay.
Suspend is the worst mechanic ever made in Magic.
Nah. There are multiple suspend cards in this suite.
Sure.
No,
All
I
right.
disagree.
Let's move on to Lose Focus. Is for 1 in a blue an instant. Counter target spell lets its controller pays 2 and has Replicate Blue. Replicate is when you cast a spell, copy it for each time you paid its replicate cost.
Yet. Are these not in alphabetical order?
Did we skip
But gives
counter
it
spell?
showing it.
Is this not showing reprints?
No, it is showing reprints. Why isn't counterspell here? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, this isn't showing.
No,
reprints. This
counterspell.
isn't showing-
Counterspell's like in the middle. It's like in the S's. It's in the it's in the V section for some reason.
What?
Yeah, whatever. Okay. This card is it triggers what's it called? What's the new mechanic from Strixhaven? Magecraft. Triggers
This card's
Magecraft a
not
bit.
playable.
It's not
Card's bad.
great. Yeah.
This card is just looks to be like a significantly worse Frost Storm and a significantly worse Counterspell and a significantly worse Battle League. But it's somehow don't manage to do it all three at the same time, which I guess is impressive.
Yeah. While still being like a cool design.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a cool design that's just mechanically irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. What if this card is just 1? That'd be Pog.
That would be. Nope. Okay. Bye, Will. All right. Next.
Well, what if we made it a 4-spec with Replicate?
Force Spike with Replicate. That would be
Yeah.
nice. All right.
That's actually fun.
Next card, we have Murktide Regent, which is for 5 blue, a 3/3 dragon with Delve. It has flying. It enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each instant or sorcery exiled with it. And whenever an instant or sorcery leaves your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on it. This card's great. Delver. Burr.
I really wish that they just reprinted Whale. I think a Whale would be pretty sweet about it.
Ethereal Forger.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like Ethereal Forger, but instead of drawing cards, it just beats down.
Yeah. There's like the question: is this better with like Giggler?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously in blue, it's like pretty decent in blue red. I don't know,
Yeah.
like not traditional blue red prowess, but in a version that plays Thought Scour, this card's great.
Yeah.
There's probably a
Those things.
Delver list that plays this Delver of Secrets, the red channeler that we're gonna get to in a bit.
Agavon.
Yep,
The other one.
and that's the entire creature base. We probably you probably don't even play like Sprite Dragon or Young Pyromancer because all the other threats are so efficient.
Yeah.
This card's just big. It's big.
It is big.
It's big.
It is big.
It's a big boy.
I heard people talking about this card in Legacy.
Yeah, I
guess.
think it's worse than Whale in Legacy.
So like, it's a order. One is like a little bit more expensive, like mana wise, and then Whale's like one of the cards that's like a lot like Dreadhorde, where if you ever get to attack with it, you just draw like a good card. You know, like you draw your Force of Will to protect it, so it can attack again. And like playing a big blue shitter with no text in a format where people are playing Pyroblast just seems a little sus.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. Okay, let's move on to Phantasmal Dreadmaw is not playable. So
Sure. 6/6.
it is a 6/6 for 4 mana. That is that's not on rate actually, but you know, we just talked about a 2 mana like 6/6 dude. Come on. All right.
I mean, one of the best creatures of all time in Pioneer was 4 mana 6/6.
4 mana 6/6. I'm so in.
Wait, what card?
Inverter of Truth.
Oh. Forgot that was a creature.
Yeah,
it's
it was.
4 mana
It,
6/6.
it beat down. It went hard.
Yeah, it definitely did go sick on that. Okay.
All right, let's talk about Rise and Shine, which is for 1 and a blue, a sorcery. Target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature. Put 4 +1/+1 counters on each artifact that became a creature this way, and has Overload for 4 blue. I don't think this card has a place in Modern right now. Like Affinity did play Scissors at one point, but wasn't great. And this card just doesn't do the same thing.
This is the list. There's a couple cards in this set that I think would be kind of cool if they were in Pioneer.
Yeah, this would be a pretty sweet Pioneer card. Having 8 copies of Scissors, of 2 mana Scissors, would be great.
Yeah, I don't think this is playable.
Yeah, there's not a lot to
Just
talk
if
about
you're
here.
the other one. You play shitty artifact next to you. You agree, right? This card is kind of shit.
All right, what card?
Rise and Shine,
Rise Shine.
the one we just talked about.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking to my sister. Yeah, this card's shed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Redashin Dockhand is for blue, a 1/2 merfolk with Island Walk, and it has pay 1, tap it, and tap target land.
0 out of 5 Merfolk is unplayable. Next.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Merfolk, yeah, just like instead of being Merfolk is a deck that is not going to get playable because the fundamental archetype of playing 2 mana 2/2s that give other 2/2s +1/+1 is just nowhere close to the power level of Magic.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
that's basically all we have to say. Let's skip these next 3 cards. On to Subtlety. Subtlety is for 2 blue, a 3/3 elemental incarnation with Flying Flash. When it enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 target creature spell or planeswalker spell. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. And it has Evoke, exile a blue card from your hand. The second card in this cycle.
I think this is actually the worst card in the cycle.
I
But not. I
think
think I think it's better than the green one, but I think it's going to see less play.
Yeah.
so. I think the red one's the worst.
Yeah. We'll
Just
talk
because it doesn't have flash.
we'll-
Why is the red one the only one with? Or I guess Grief also doesn't have flash, but still.
Yeah.
Why isn't the red one have flash? I'm mad.
Yeah. Subtlety, like it's definitely a good card, but it doesn't really have a home in Modern. We don't really care about a creature Force of Will effect.
Yeah, because you can already kill creatures pretty efficiently for 1 mana. You don't really need to do it for 0.
Yeah.
Like, because spells, they commonly cost 2 to counter, and being able to counter 2 to 0 is a lot more impactful than 1 to 0.
Yeah. Like the card you want to be countering with this is Storming Entity, but it doesn't have haste, so like you have time to do stuff.
Yeah. So, a thing I like about subtlety is you can hardcast it.
Yeah, it's like it's one of the best in the cycle for on rate hardcasting. Besides the green one,
mean,
but the green one's green.
No, I think it's better on me.
You think this one's better on rate
For
than the 3 mana 3/4?
So like this is a phantom monster that draws like basically draws a card with tempo. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
Because it like blue and control decks and shit. Like you pass leaving up mana a lot. So like, I think your opponent having to play on a one more kind of card is like nice.
Yeah, I think I agree.
I don't think this card's absurd, but I think this card is like fine and.
Yeah.
You play. There are definitely matchups where I would be happy to turn, like, force a creature. I don't know.
Oh, weren't we supposed to be giving these number grades?
You know.
Subtlety. Nah, I'm
I
off
think
it.
just talking about the decks that they're going is better.
Yeah, I'm off of it. I was about to say the number, but no, I can't do it. I'm not one of them. All right. Suspend for blue instant. Exile target creature and put 2 time counters on it. It gains suspend. People hyped up this card, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's interesting in Teferi, but Teferi is white, and white already has good removal, so it doesn't have a home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the only way I can see this is in a Cunning Wish deck in Legacy as a 1 mana answer to Talia you can wish for.
Sure.
I don't think it's good enough, but you could see it.
Yeah.
And then he does come back.
That's it.
Nope.
Okay.
So,
Vincent's back.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think it's playable.
Yeah. Like I saw people talk about it.
We already talked about why motherfucker.
No, hold on. I saw people talking about its interaction with like Snapcaster Mage in the control decks, just like using Snap to like path something, suspend Snap. You get Snap back. You get to cast like a cryptic command in another path, and then at some point in the future, you can like use Snap to suspend your other snaps in response to removal spells, or like after you declare blocks with Snapcaster.
Okay, hear me out. Instead
They
of
put
playing
my
this,
Soul Guide Lantern into play.
True.
okay,
Nice
hear me
deck.
out. Instead of playing suspend to get an extra snap, what if we just play 4 Snapcaster Mages and move on with our lives?
Wow.
And we can play cryptic commands to rebuy our Snapcaster.
Ooh, what a concept.
Wait, yeah, what putting good cards in your deck that's not a synergy deck? That's insane.
Wow.
All right, so Cyellum?
Cyellum of Sea and Sky is unplayable.
0 to 5.
We don't need to read it.
It
talks about Merfolk. Merfolk is still unplayable. We can move on.
It's a 3 mana 3/4 that whenever it attacks, it draws a card. How about that?
I don't care.
Okay. Unplayable Thought Monitor. Thought Monitor is for 6 and a blue and 2/2 artifact construct. It has affinity for artifacts. It has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw 2 whole cards.
Yeah, so this card's really interesting. I don't think the support's quite there. I really want it to be, but I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I agree. People talk about this card being like insane.
I think it is insane if Mox Opal is in the fucking format.
Yeah, without
Full
Mox Opal,
Talisman
this
was
card
a
doesn't do
fucking
anything.
slap in the face.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
Suspend.
Fuck suspend.
Yeah. So yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't think this. Like people don't. Stockcasting has not been close to playable. I don't think getting a Sun Mass makes you want to play me put that bad card in my deck.
I agree. This card
All
just
right, Dead
doesn't do enough
Shaper.
run
It's a
rate.
Murloc.
It's a
Merfolk.
Murloc. Hello.
It's a Merfolk 0 to 5 unplayable.
Okay, I'm not going to read Vindalican Infiltrator because I see Counterspell right next to it.
Counterspell.
Let's talk about
Fog.
Counterspell. Blue,
4
blue,
of in every
instant,
blue control
counter
deck.
target spell. Every control deck just gets nice
In all
upgrades.
seriousness, yeah. In all seriousness, this card is not gonna change Modern that much.
Yeah.
It is a noticeable but not significant upgrade.
Yeah.
For like
It gives the control decks like, I don't know, plus 1 or 2 percentage points, but it doesn't like change anything drastically. Yeah, like it's one of the most hype cards in the set, but there's not a lot to talk about. It's just a good card, but that's it. Do you want to talk about Seal of Removal?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Talk about Seal of Removal. It's for blue and enchantment. Sacrifice Seal of Removal. Return target creature to its owner's hand. You have the floor, Michael.
Lewis goes. Buh.
Okay, thank you.
Fog.
If there is a like, there's no like obvious deck this goes in, right? But
I don't think so.
Seal of Removal was also played in that shitty Bleach deck that was too good for Legacy. The card's like both that like being permanents of like reasonable effects are like is kind of sick. It means when you like look at your opening hand and you see like a fatal push, you have to like pass. But if you look at your opening hand and see like skill of fatal push, you can spend your mana immediately. And people play Vapor Snag occasionally. I don't see why this card won't see a little bit of play. It's not busted.
Yep.
Cool. Upheaval.
Yeah, Upheaval is for 4 blue blue a sorcery. Return all permanents to their owner's hands. It's a nice reprint, but we don't know exactly what this is going to do in Modern. It's kind of a hard card to evaluate.
This
Like
this card was
something-
good. I mean, so this card was good when people could play like a ton of mana ramp, or people had like Psychotog or Zombie Infestation. Though, like it was like a relatively underpowered format, and I just don't think this card is anywhere close to playable in this format. You're gonna die on turn 4 a lot right now in Modern if you try to like set up with mana rocks. And if you're not playing against an aggro deck, you're gonna play a deck that's playing 4+ counter spells. And you just put all your effort into casting a 6 mana spell and you're just gonna get like destroyed. This card's not playable.
Yeah. So Wonder. Wonder is for 3 and a blue, a 2/2 incarnation with flying. As long as it's in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. This card, nice reprint, doesn't fit into a lot besides Dredgevine. It's like probably gonna be pretty decent there.
Yeah, it's gonna be good in that like deck. Wish they would put in all of them. I like that cycle.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah. Let's move on to black. First black card that's playable, Archon of Cruelty, which is for 6 black, a 6/6 with flying. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, discards a card, and loses 3 life. You draw a card and gain 3 life. This is another non-legendary card in black that you are going to be looking to reanimate. Has a nice enter the battlefield, and you're incentivized to attack with it every turn. I don't know exactly what metagame you'd want to be using this instead of the Angel we saw before. But this is a good
Like-
effect to have.
Yeah, I don't really care about this card. Let's go to Bone Shards, because that card is absurdly powerful.
Yep, okay. Bone Shards. Black, sorcery. As additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature or discard a card. Destroy a target creature or planeswalker.
So right off the bat, it's basically just a strict upgrade to Lightning Axe.
Sure.
And like in
Shut up.
Bubble Hulk, you can use it as both a discard outlet and a sack outlet to start your combo, which is just insanely powerful.
Yeah, I'm
You
excited
can
to play
also
this in
use
Hulk.
it as you can in Bubble Hulk. You can use it as both a Discord outlet and a psych outlet at the
Yeah.
same time.
Literally
That's what Will
register.
just said.
Good listening, Michael.
I was. I thought you were saying it could be one or the other. I was saying it could be both.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, so
Yeah.
anything
I
else you
think
want to
this
talk
card
about?
might be. I don't think it's fine.
I mean, I think Bone Shark goes in basically every single blocked deck uses to utilize the graveyard in some way.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I don't
just
think it's
so good.
going to be that kind of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a 4 of and dredge. Like, over the sideboard, maybe like 2/2 split or something.
I think it might be playable. I don't think it's a 4 of it, Reg.
Yeah.
I think you're undervaluing the card then. Just like. Because you can use it to discard your dredgers, or you can just sack, if like in the late game, just like sack a Bloodghast for free or something.
I mean, my issue is I want my Discord outlets and Dredge to be able to use on turn 1 consistently and this cat with that.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
This card is not significantly better than Lightning Axe. It is marginally better than Lightning Axe, and Dredge is not jumping at the opportunity to play Lightning Axe right now, right?
I mean, they typically play like 1 or 2 on the sideboard.
Yeah, I think this is a reasonable sideboard card for Dredge. I do not think it is a main deckable card for Dredge.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same point.
Sure. Fine.
Yeah. All right. Next card is Break the Ice, which is for black, a sorcery. Destroy target land that is snow or could produce colorless, and has overload for 4 black. Something,
so I don't think
fuck
this-
Tron.
nope. Yeah. It's
what I was
really
gonna
important
say is-
that black gets, or just any color, gets a hate for Tron that costs 2 or less mana, so that when you're on the draw, it's still relevant.
Yeah.
As someone who's autistic, breaking the ice has always been kind of hard for me, but this card's fine.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of nice in control decks. That you can stack cast in this back as well.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
I do think this. My issue with this card is pretty narrow.
Yeah. I don't think you ever going to be bringing this in against any, I don't know, control decks who are playing snow effects, either randomly or because they're playing on thin ice.
No, snow. So the snow part doesn't matter. It's Tron hate.
Yeah, it's just a way for us to
It's Bogger's
stop
Tron.
playing snowlands.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I now no one can yell at me at for team events if I play with my Alpha Islands.
Sweet.
Yep.
I get to play with my penis islands.
Ice Spank Waddle gets even more unplayable since the banning of Astrolabe feels bad, man.
Yay. All right, next card. Do we want to talk about Clattering Augur? I just don't think this card's good.
Hold on, I kind of want to talk about Cabal Initiate. Because it is the best, cheapest permanent discard outlet that Modern has.
I mean, isn't Uno's Prowler better?
No. What, have you read this card is strictly better than
I have not read this card. Okay, Cabal Initiate is for 1 and a black, a human warlock, 2/1. It has discard a card, it gains life until end of turn, and has threshold of Cabal Initiate gets +1/+2 as long as you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard.
Real quick. We've seen in the past the Cabal have normally been clerics. Why do you think this Sudden Flame change to Warlock?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, so yeah, this is playable in CDH, which is kind of pog.
Another discard outlet for Get Rog. Let's go.
Yep. Get draw, go burr. Yeah, it's not the worst discard outlet in the world.
There might be a home for it as a 1 or 2 of in a Hollow 1 deck in Modern.
People played the Falcon Wrath 2/1 that flipped into a 3/2 with flyer. People played that in the Black Red Madness deck back when that was a casual Modern deck.
Yeah, I think this card is having lifelink is kind of nice.
Definitely.
My biggest issue is it has 1 toughness.
Not if you just pitch your whole hand on turn 1 or turn 2. Let's go.
That is correct.
No. What if you're on the play and don't have fetches? You touch.
Well, you will have a fetch.
Just play a fetch. Just don't be
You
stupid.
got it?
You just play the fetch land.
All right.
Okay. Good talk.
Damn.
Well, I thought we were talking about Shattering
I
Augur.
don't want to talk about Shattering Augur. This card doesn't do
Okay,
anything.
cool. I don't want to either.
Damn.
Damn.
A black sorcery. Destroy target creature. A creature destroyed this way can't be regenerated. Overload. 2 white.
They finally power corrupt Wrath of God after
Yep.
25 fucking years.
Yeah.
7 years.
Took them long enough, right?
I mean,
They finally did it. The madman.
We can all accept this card's just absurd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is nice. This is really
They
nice.
power corrupt Wrath of God.
Yeah.
And it's like a pretty reasonable power crap. It's not like Wrath of God went for like 3 and a white or something. It's
Yeah, it's not like going from Judgment to Wrath of God. It's like going from Wrath of God to Damn.
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 Yeah. Yeah, this card is just really flexible, really sweet, really good. I don't know, dude.
the only mark against it in like the control decks is you can't like Teferi into your removal spell. Teferi 5.
Sure. It's a sorcery. Whatever.
But like it's the
Not
Wrath.
bad.
It fills the Wrath of God slot, not the removal spot. So when your Wrath of Gods aren't good, you just have an extra removal spell.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, sure. All right, next.
I've been having to play a lot of bad cards. I gotta play this instead.
Yeah, it's
Go
pretty
for the
fun.
throat. They barely even know her. That joke didn't work.
Oh, I'm so much just gonna go for it. You can't stop me.
Oh my god.
I can stop you.
Yeah, we're gonna stop you. All right,
All right,
next card.
Voidwalker. This card's absurd.
This card's for a black, a 3/2 with shadow. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it with a void counter. Tap, sacrifice it. Choose an exiled card an opponent owns with a void counter on it. You may play that card this turn without paying its mana cost.
Yeah, on the first time I read this card, I didn't know that it
So-
said without paying mana cost, and I still thought it was absurd.
Yeah,
This is the best black card of this set.
I think I agree.
Yeah, Damn is the best white card.
Oh my god.
No, the best white card is Esper Sentinel.
Yeah,
Sure.
but
Okay, what's the best blue card? Counter spell? Let's say counter spell. Cool.
Yeah. This is graveyard hate. This is free spells. This is an aggressive creature. Like, I don't know.
unblockable. It's fucking.
It
hard.
does have unblockable. I can't think of a single modern playable shadow creature, and don't say Literal Core.
Oh, I can.
No.
Stealthy Voidwalker.
Oh, okay. Your opponent's stealthy Voidwalkers. I got it.
Oh yeah, and the jungle.
So,
Yeah.
this
card-
card's obviously great. Luris.
Ooh,
This card
Luris.
also is really good in Modern Mill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Modern Mill's definitely gonna play this card.
I mean, it also fixes their problem of can't beating out. Oh yeah, that was a nice one. Of not being able to beat Eldrazi or Nexus of Fate. So it should have just beat Eldrazi. And then against Nexus, you can just mow their deck. And then like cast your Ockmage's Charm or something, because the blue decks are the ones that play Nexus.
Yep. Yeah, that's hot. I'm in. All right. Do you want to talk about Echoing Return for Pauper or whatever? I don't fucking know.
This card is not good at Pauper, so no.
Okay, good talk.
Grief. Grief is for 2 black, a 3/2 with Menace, Elemental Incarnation. When Menace enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. They discard that card. Has Evoke. Exile a black card from your hand.
Rock.
This is the broken one with Ephemerate. You get to take 3 cards over the course of 2 turns.
AKA, you win the game if you're on the play deterministically.
It beats Force of Negation.
So it's a 4-card combo that wins the game on turn 1.
Yep. That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying, oh, you have to have a white land and 2 black cards and an Ephemerate. Yeah. And?
Yeah, and
That is what I said. It is a 4-card combo.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good.
But you also Ephemerate can just be one of the like Undying Evil or
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Malakir's Rebirth. Or,
Well, those ones.
those ones you only get 2 cards, but it's still absurd.
It's still good. You're still happy paying that rate.
Yeah. So this is obviously great. The question is your deck gonna function enough for the time when you go to high roll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
This is also grief is another reason why I think the blue force is good.
Yes. Being able to subtlety a grief is going to be Pog. I mean, yeah.
Also, this card is past modern, good in vintage.
Yeah, it's really good in Dredge.
It's good in dredge, the vine, the like back vine decks and stuff. It's going to be like played. Some of them are going to see play in the animated legacy. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an easy 4 of include because to do something. But it's also just a nice plan in the animator if you can be able to keep a hand that just goes like turn 1 grief you reanimate my grief, not sees you again.
Yep.
Okay. So, next card. Does that mean I get to talk about Kitchen Imp now?
Yes, sir.
Kitchen Imp is for 3 and a black, a 2/2 imp with flying haste and madness of black. This is the first time we're going to reference our deck lists. We have a bunch of deck lists that are going to be linked in the description of this podcast or this YouTube video, wherever the fuck you're listening to this. This is the Vengevine deck that we made. Kitchen Imp is one of the best madness creatures in a while. It's just a 2/2 flying haste. It beats down. It's great to discard. It's just you're able to use it to cast Vengevine, trigger Vengevine from your graveyard. This is like really good. I don't know. It's definitely better than Flamewake Phoenix in this archetype.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael's not.
Again,
not
this is one of the archetypes that's like on the more like speculative side of things. It's not obvious it's going to be great, but
Yeah, we haven't tested
It has
with
the
it yet,
tools to-
but it gets a lot of new cards, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
yeah, it has the like potential to be pretty good.
Yep. Next, skip Vanguard, skip Curator. Do you want to talk about Magus of the Bridge?
Yeah, people are talking about like a black-red, like a Vile Zombies deck that Magus of the Bridge would go into.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I'm
I've seen a
going to
couple of
complain
Twitter
real
on Twitter.
quick about. Can I complain about this card for a second?
Yeah.
This is a absolute flavor fail.
Yep.
Every Magus had the exact context of the card
Yep.
it was to be, and this card doesn't.
Yep.
I literally read it as Master Rage Breed would not let me.
Michael,
accept
you're
they would not-
Michael, you're cutting out.
Perfect face of Magus.
Yeah, Michael's point. This is the first Magus ever printed that doesn't have the exact card text
Yeah.
of the previous card.
Do you want to talk about Magus of the Unseen?
Fuck is a Magus of the Unseen?
It's a common from Ice Age.
No.
Okay. That was a bad joke. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what this does in Modern. I say that a lot, but this card just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Skip Necrogoyf. This card's unplayable.
Yep.
Oh,
Persist.
thank God he left Necroboy.
Yeah. Persist. Persist is for 1 and a black, a sorcery. Return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it. Great. Reanimator. Burr.
This goes in the Bubble Hulk deck we talked about.
Yep, this goes in the traditional Reanimator deck we discussed a tiny bit about.
It also has a little Hobgoblin going Dicko mode. You kind of love to see it.
He is, in fact, going Sicko mode and or Dicko mode. Whichever you prefer. Yeah. Not a lot to talk about because it's just a efficient Reanimator target. We know what that does in Legacy.
Favorite mechanic. What?
I was just going to say, like, we know what 2-mana sorcery spells that reanimate things do. We see it a lot in Legacy. It's probably going to, like, perform about the same in Modern. Not as high power level, but in the same play patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best mechanic of all time, Suspend.
Unplayable.
Yeah. Suspend 2. Profane Tutor, suspend 2, 1 in a black. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Bad. This card is bad.
I hate this
The
suspend
quick
mechanic.
financial tip is probably buy this card. It's going to go the Beach
Oh yeah,
but
EDH, like casual EDH players are gonna love this one. It's just demonic
Let's talk about
tutor.
Sudden Edict next. This card's
Are you
poggers.
saying you want to skip the starfish?
Yes.
yes.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about sudden edict, which is for 1 in a black and instant. Target player sacrifices a creature. Split second.
Or it's just pog. It's a
Yeah.
pretty good removal spell for 2.
It it pisses me off that they printed a masterpiece Diabolic Edict that I bought a playset of, and then have printed multiple strictly meta Diabolic Edicts.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting. You don't understand.
How much money did you lose?
You don't need to talk about that. No, I spent like $20 each. So it's not
Okay.
much.
Well played.
Nice Dryad Arbor, idiot.
All right, next, Torok.
Torok, Dread Cantor. For 1 in a black, a legendary human cleric. 2/1 with kicker black. Protection from white. Whenever opponent discards a card, put a +1/+1 counter on him. And when he enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, target opponent discards 2 cards at random.
Yeah, so this card's really good in like the Lurrus green black rock deck that's been like floating around the fringes of Modern. But I don't know if it'll be enough to push that deck over the top, but it's definitely really interesting. I don't know if it finds another home because it's a bit slow for Lurrus Shadow and it interacts badly with Bloodbraid Elf and Normal Jund.
Yeah. Like this card's like pretty really good on rate if you're able to kick it, but if you're not able to kick it, it's pretty bad. Like you're not really making your opponent discard too many cards past turn 3 or 4. So the triggered ability of whenever your opponent discards a card, put a counter on it is like pretty incidental. Doesn't really do a whole lot.
I think the thing that's like also overlooked on this card is it's like, kind of just a reasonable shitter in some matchups.
Yeah, sure. It's
Like-
fine.
Like, imagine playing like, I guess like Helion or something, and you play this into like a Liliana. It's like a 3/2.
Yeah.
They can't really block it.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
They can't attack into your Liliana. So you like gotta articulate Liliana again, and now it's a 4/3.
Yeah.
They still can't attack. You pick your Liliana again. You're threatening an ultimate.
Yeah. No, that's fair. All right, I want to move on to Unmarked Grave.
Yep.
Yeah, let's not talk about either of those cards. Unmarked Grave is for 1 in a black, a sorcery. Search your library for a non-legendary card and put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. This card is bonkers. Bubble Hulk? Bubble Hulk? Bubble Hulk?
So yeah, this makes the Bubble Hulk archetype.
It makes it work.
Yep.
It has the interaction where you can get either a creature or reactions with
Unburial Rights.
Arboreal, right?
with Unburial Rights, yeah.
Yep. Does this card do anything else in non-reanimator shells? I think the answer is no.
Nope.
Not in Modern.
No, not in any like.
Not in any format. Because outside of Modern, just in Tomb.
Unmarked Grave, grab Wonder.
Unmarked Grave, the card that's only ever going to tutor on Burial Rights or Protean Hulk.
Yeah.
I guess
Any playable deck.
technically you could get a Life from the Lobe.
It's bad. Just play Gamble.
Yeah.
I talked about it for Modern. Like if the deck we saw like the Thief playing turns out to be okay, you could in theory play this as Lobe number 5.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Sure.
But like that's obviously.
Yeah, it just...
Yeah.
Speaking of Entomb, Vile Entomber, 2 black, 2/2 Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, Entomb. I don't think this card's good. I just wanted to...
Why are we talking about this card? It
we
costs 4.
were talking about Entomb. I wanted to make a segue.
It's an uncommon and it costs 4.
Oh my god.
No, it's a pretty dope artwork though. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I do like the artwork.
Sure. Bone Shredder. Bone Shredder's for 2 and a black, a 1/1 with
Wait.
flying.
Why are we talking about all the unplayables now?
Bone Shredder's playable.
No, there's a pretty big update to Bone Shredder though.
What do you mean?
What?
It's a Phyrexian.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, Bone Shredder
Oh.
is for 2 and a black, a 1/1 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. It has Echo, 2 and a black. This card,
This card is not playable.
there So as I was going to say, later in the set, we're going to see that we got Imperial Recruiter, which this card is able to be tutored up with Recruiter. It is good in a future Kiki-Jiki Imperial Recruiter style, not pod because pod is banned, but a pod style deck that uses those effects to tutor up targets. This is one of the better, close to unconditional removal spells for that deck.
Sure, I guess.
The future of Cord is going to be black based because Ignoble Hierarch is able to cast Kiki-Jiki.
Yep.
So Bone Shredder will be a piece in the Yorion Imperial Recruiter deck.
Sure.
Want to talk about braids or no?
Sure.
Okay. So two black, 2/2 legendary human. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land.
This might see playing like a smallpox deck.
Like a Jund deck. It's good with Ren and 6.
It is good with Ren and 6, I'll give you that.
Good with red. It is good with red. It's good with like Bloodghasts.
Yeah.
It is good with Ren and Bloodghast.
Yeah, that's kind of like a combo. It is pretty slow though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was Leo in EDH. That card was sweet.
They're gonna unban.
Scourge Familiar. It's like Gitrog piece, Pog.
Hold on. We're skipping. Hold on. I want to talk about. I just want to say one thing about Patriarch's Bidding, which is for 3 black sorcery. Each player chooses a creature type, and then they return all creature cards from that type, from the graveyard to the battlefield. This card might see play in Combo Goblins if there's a more sacrificed version of Combo Goblins. Same with the Fecundity version of Goblins. Because you're able to generate black mana in that deck, you are able to cast this card pretty easily, and a single Patriarch's Bidding will usually win the game on the spot. The issue is it's not a great card.
So looking at the artwork of this card,
Michael, let's not make any bad jokes.
no. It's really important.
Okay.
I think I just learned a bit of flavor and lore about the Wills of Innistrad, which is the penises.
Oh, I'm not zooming in on that one to figure it out. Alright, what were y'all fuckers saying about Scourge Familiar?
Oh, it's played in one of the best EDH decks.
Which one? Gitrog?
Gitrog.
Gitrog.
It's a discard outlet that affects the board state, so you can't get called for slow play.
Oh, that's Pog.
Yep.
Alright, no, I'm in. Alright, let's move on to red. Does someone else want to take over reading the cards?
Sure.
No.
Michael can do it.
Okay. On player. Ooh. I want to say Arcbound Slasher and Arcbound Tracker look kind of cool. It looks like it's like one frame of artwork over 2 cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pog.
None of these are playable though, right?
Blazing Root Waller is red.
That card's
for
insane.
Can I read the fucking card? Cool. Red for 1/1. Creature lizard. It has red. This creature gains +2/+0 until end turn. Activates this ability only once each turn. Madness for 0, which says if you discard this card, you discard it into exile, and when you cast it from Force Madness Hust or put it into the graveyard.
Wow.
Yeah, if you know anything about Vintage, you know this card is going in a variety of decks. Because of the card Bazaar of Baghdad. And if you know anything about a Hollow One in Modern, back when Faithless was legal, you know that this deck is going, the card is going to that. Pog.
Yeah, this card's great. It
It's
enables
really good.
It enables Vengevine, obviously, but like it's like not the worst card in the world. Again, it's comparable to Bloodghast on like how efficient it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be good.
Also, it's not pretty, but like I wouldn't be terribly embarrassed if I looked at my opening hand and just said, "Turn Blazing Root Waller go" against most decks.
I guess. I mean, I would
Yeah.
be. I would be sad, but
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not putting in my deck to Hardcaster, obviously, but
what if instead of saying Mountain Blazing Root Wallow, we're on the draw and we say go to my discard step, cast Blazing Root Wallow?
oh, that's way more. That's like way worse, but way more alpha.
Agree.
Okay.
Next, Bloodbraid Marauder is
Bloodbraid
unplayable.
Marauder, I mean, I think we
It's
should
worth
have-
talking about it. Yeah.
Sure.
Blood Moon Nirvana is one in event for a 3/1 human berserker that cannot block. Has Delirium. The spell has Cascade as long as there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard. And I'm not reading Cascade because it takes so long to read.
Yep.
So, this card's close to good. If they make 20 enchantment artifact creature that has discard do nothing, lets you discard it from your hand, this card would be good.
Yeah, so the idea
But-
with this card is you play something like Architects of Will, and you're trying to activate Delirium to cascade into, like, you know, Crashing Footfalls or whatever, but I think it's just too hard to activate Delirium, and that...
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Especially without like good 1-drops or 0-drops.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be close to impossible if you're trying to cast this on 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be Architects of Will land, and you still need an instant or sorcery, which you can't have in a deck that's trying to, you know, do the As Foretold thing.
Yeah,
or do
definitely.
the Cascade thing. Yeah.
All right, what's the next
Do you guys
playable
want to
card?
talk about Calibrated Blast?
I don't even know what this card does. Yeah,
What
no.
card?
I don't even know what Calibrated Blast does. Yeah, no, this card's not good. Let's just move on to Dragon's Rage Channeler.
No, Braze Apprentice is horrible. It's literally like the slightest of upgrades to PNLR, and that card is so far from unplayable that it's not fun.
Okay, Dragon's Rage Channeler is 1 red for a human shaman that is a 1/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, surveil 1. Delirium gets +2/+2, fly, and attacks each combat if able.
Delver of Secrets.
Yeah, this card is
good.
almost a better Delver.
Yeah. Like, this is definitely going to create a new archetype in
Yes.
Modern.
Some, like, red Luris deck. You know, you're incentivized to play Bauble and then cheap spells. This card just slides right into it.
So, straight up, this card just pretty sure like easily slots into red blue pilot, like red blue prowess in Modern. Like, you can pretty consistently get all 4 card types in your graveyard.
I don't know about that one.
So, like,
in the prowess, you'd have to play Bauble in Blue-Red Prowess.
I don't think you do.
You are gonna have issues putting creatures into your graveyard. Like, obviously, if your opponent's playing a creature deck where you can Lava Dart one of their shitters, then yeah. But other than that, it's like kind of hard to do. I'd still want to play
You
Bauble
can-
in the deck.
But I'm not sure whether or not you play Bubble, but I'm pretty sure you can just play it. Also, this card is very good at
This card what?
very good at Legacy.
Yes, definitely. Like
Yeah.
Legacy got a lot of tools.
Legacy Delver.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The ideal world would be playing a ton of 1-drops and not 2-drops. And after with this plus the card we're going to talk about, Ragavan, you're just going to be able to play like 11 1-drops in your Delver deck, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yep.
great.
Let's talk about Faithless Salvaging. I'm mad. Wizards like to slap us in the face. Alright, let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Faithless Salvaging is 1 in a red. Instant, discard a card, then draw a card, rebound.
Yeah, I don't think this card deserves any words besides "fuck you."
Yeah, this card could have very, very easily just cost 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. This card's just not
It's
good.
bizarre to me that I feel like the vast majority of their player base are calling for unbans and box triple and faithless looting.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they print this, which is kind of like ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Either
they
think
print
this
this
is-
and Soul Talisman. You just want to...
So it's either them laughing at us or it's them thinking this is like basically the same, just slightly worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next card.
Cool.
Flame Blitz.
Flame Blitz is for red. At the beginning of each of you, at the beginning Red step, deal 5 damage to each planeswalker, and it is cycling for 2 colorless.
This card is broken.
So, when they designed this card, it was probably good in Modern.
Yeah, Modern is no longer about planeswalkers. No one's playing Narset or whatever. The only deck that's playing planeswalkers is the blue-white
When
deck
they
and
designed
Tron.
this card, you could play 4 Oko in your deck.
Oh yeah, this was legal back then. Probably, yeah.
It's designed that's 2 years in advance, right? So,
Yeah.
So what Flame Blitz is interesting in is
Don't say War Prison.
oh, I was about to say War Prison.
No, don't say War Prison.
A prison style deck that's trouble with control.
And Karn.
Yeah, and Karn especially.
Okay. Thanks for your input, Will.
You're welcome.
this card could theoretically see play in, like, some deck in, like, a vintage against, like, good stuff. It's probably not good, but it's like, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, this is just a really efficient sideboard staple.
Yeah, it's like super efficient. It's just so narrow.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking narrow. Like,
Also, the fact that it doesn't kill Oko, and like vintage,
it's
is like
pretty
kind of
funny.
awkward.
they're still gonna be able to do shit with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. You want to talk about Fury?
Do we?
I would love to talk
Yeah.
about Fury. This card is really good.
Fury is 3 red for an elemental incarnation. That is a 3/3. It's double strike. And it has ETB, deal 4 damage, divided as you choose among any number of target creatures or planeswalkers. And it has evoke, exile a red card from your hand. Will, what keyword is this card missing?
Flash.
Flash. Rip, dude.
I wish this card had Flash, but it's still okay that it doesn't, because Hemer Cascade Poob uses this card really well. So you take advantage of the new card in quotes, Shardless Agent, which we'll see later, and See the Truth and Ancestral Vision to have a lot of draw 3s in your deck. And the best way to utilize draw 3s is pitch cards to control the board. Fury is perfect for.
Yeah. This is probably the best Flametongue coffee we've ever seen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's better than the one we just skipped, at least.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Galvanic Ray?
No.
I
Okay.
mean, I don't complain about it. Like, it's 2 in a red for sorcery. Exile the top card of your library. During your next turn, you may play that card. Storm.
Yeah,
I
so
can-
the card's interesting because it's a common, it says Storm, but Pauper Storm decks can't go off twice. 'Cause they like sack all their lands and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Common cards with Storm, you should design very carefully or ban and properly.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about Glimpse of Tomorrow. This card's a Chaos card.
Yep.
We're just skipping
It
it.
has suspended as unplayable.
Okay. Ooh, Harmonic Prodigy.
Monarch Prodigy is a 1 in a red for a human wrestler. That is a 1/3 with prowess, and whenever the ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, trigger an additional time.
It says another wizard, so it doesn't count itself, right?
It says
Yeah.
another wizard.
Unlucky. That sucks.
So if you can make it become a shaman and lose its wizard type, it would trigger infinite times.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Ooh, that's Bog.
Wait. No, it wouldn't.
Wait.
Yeah?
No.
This isn't an ability that trigger. It just causes other abilities
It says
to trigger.
it triggers an additional time. This is a replacement effect, not a triggered ability.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Yep. I don't think this
Yep.
card does anything.
It's a lot like the Leonin whatever, the Magecraft card, but monk.
Yeah, this is
It doesn't affect monks.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
It is like the Magecraft card. They still Illuminats this trigger a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to the next card,
Sure.
which is Obsidian Charma?
No, I want to talk about Mining Collapse for a second.
Sure.
Mining Collapse is 3 in event. If it is your turn, you may sacrifice a mountain rather than pay its mana cost, and it deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. I am not sure what deck this goes in. It is incredibly powerful to have a 0 mana destroy target creature.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised this wasn't a cycle. It's like just a red card.
I also think the design of it being 3 spells on your turn is exactly what I want for Modern.
Yeah.
I've never had an issue with Mox Opal in Modern, but I've had issues with the Forces in Modern, because I think if your opponent's tapped out and it's your turn, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable.
This card reminds me a bit of Submerge.
Which they sadly did not give us. Even though they gave us another card from the Submerged cycle.
Did they?
Yeah. It's later in red. Just wait. Alright, let's move on to Obsidian Charma.
City of Charma is 3 red for creature dragon. That is a 4/4. It has this spell cost 1 less a cat. Each land controls that produce. It has flying, and when it ETBs, destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. Fuck Tron.
Yeah. This card is just
Yeah.
good. You're able to cast it against Tron before they assemble Tron. No matter if you're on the play or the draw, right?
No.
What do you mean? Oh, so you have to have a 1 mana thing. You have to have a 1 mana accelerant if you're in Ponza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Ponza it fucks Tron, but you're playing Ponza against
Yeah,
Tron.
this card is... People seem to think this is the best of the new Tron hate cards. This one seems kind of dubious to me.
Yeah. It is a
seems-
5 mana 4/4, but
I mean, it is definitely the best of all of them against E-Tron.
sure.
Because 4/4 flying is just pretty good against that deck. But,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
does Ponza need help against Tron?
I doubt it. You have the pressure, you have the main deck hate. There's not a lot else you
Yeah,
want against Tron.
I'm not convinced you need more.
Yeah, definitely.
And, what other decks does this go in?
Nothing, I don't think.
Exactly,
Yeah, this looks just to be a Ponza card. Maybe Obosh.
Yeah, maybe? Okay.
Yeah, sure. I guess you put in an Obosh.
Yeah.
All right, now we
So
get to
the
talk
best
about
card-
Ragavan.
So here's the best card of the set.
Yep.
Ragavan Nibble Pilferer.
Hold on, before you read the tar text, I want to say, look at the little glasses he's wearing.
Oh,
He's so smart. Dude, that's
Yeah.
why he draws cards.
Oh, what a good boy.
He went to college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cannon.
So Ragavan Nibble Pilferer is a legendary creature, monkey pirate. That is a 2/1.
Monkey.
Whenever it attacks,
Whatever deals
so
combat
whenever it deals
damage.
combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You may cast that card this turn and create a treasure token. It has dash for 1 in event, which means you may cast a spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste and it returns to your hand at the beginning of the end step.
Why does this card have dash?
Flavor.
Okay, cool. That's it.
That's actually pretty good flavor.
No.
Karizev flavor,
This
yeah.
won't put anything else. Notice that monkeys can run, and monkeys run fast.
Yeah.
I thought it was a reference to,
And he
Karizev.
takes it and pulls it back to the ship.
Oh, I thought it was a reference to Karizev, how he goes away at the
I mean, it
end
is.
step.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just great flavor.
Okay.
The flavor is 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The card is
dude-
also a 10 out of 10. It's going to see play as a 3 or 4 of in every format it's legal in.
every single format.
I think this card is pretty close to vintage playable as just the efficient creature, which is
Scary.
Yeah.
pretty rare.
This card is very good in Vintage, because frequently you'll reveal the top of your opponent's deck, and it's a fucking 0 mana artifact.
People were doubting it at the beginning, but now that I've had more time to think about it, I'm just pretty sure this card's on par or better than Swift Spear.
Yeah, no, this card's
So
absurd.
this card is better than Swiss Spear in every deck besides Modern Blood.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Like, this card's probably just better in blue-red prowess.
Yeah. Have you read it?
It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
fun.
It lets you go. It
This
lets you
card
cast
is
turn
like-
2 opt storming entity.
Yeah. I'm going to go on record and say this card is better than it.
Then what? Okay.
It's going to be early equal power level.
No, but this is definitely the best card in this set. And
By that,
I don't even
this
think
card
it's
is going to be. I'm saying this card will be banned in Modern eventually, and then a little bit later banned in Legacy.
I think it'll actually be banned in Legacy before Modern.
Anyway, it's
Just
going
because
to be. I think
because Delver's on the can't be banned list. This is
yeah,
gonna
this card will be banned in Legacy at some point.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'm probably
This
banned.
card's just better than Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's true.
I don't know. This card's. I'm pretty sure this card's better than Dreadhorde.
So, do you want
One
to
is
talk about the
less
card
than
and start telling everyone it's going to get banned?
What?
What do you guys want to say about the card?
We already did. We already talked about it for like 5 minutes.
It
You just
just.
said it was going to get banned repeatedly.
Yeah. We didn't actually talk about like why the card's good.
Yeah, it's like, so you can think about it like a noble hierarch with Exalted 2 that also draws a card every turn. Pretty absurd.
Yeah. Like obviously,
So-
only about half of the cards that you exile are going to be usable. A, because lands you can't do anything with those, and B, some of the cards just aren't relevant in your strategy, so there's no point in casting them. But probably a little under half are going to be usable.
Yeah, it's a Nat Pagal and a noble hierarch in the
Yeah,
same
we
card.
don't know what that card does.
No, that makes sense.
Nope.
I feel like over half of our viewers know what Nat Pagal is.
Nope.
Okay, you can look it up, Sam.
For anyone's
Anyway,
reference,
so-
Nat Pagal is a Hearthstone card that draws a card 50% of the time on your turn.
Wow.
So Legacy, this card is like in fair matchups. This card kind of has like Infect 10. It's the way I would think about it. Like the Devil Mirror, if I play this on turn 1 and my opponent does not have a way to answer it, they just basically lose the game on the spot.
Sure.
And Delver's pretty good at protecting against shit. That's kind of the entire strategy of Delver.
Keep in mind, your opponent's gonna get to like make their ponders significantly better because of this card.
Sure, I'm gonna have 3 mana on turn 2.
Shut up. It's
I
kind
don't
of
care. If I cast Ragavan on turn 1, my opponent casts Ponder, the game is over.
true.
Yes.
No, that's fair. All right. Anything else we want to say?
Nah, I think that about covers it. Card's absurd.
Reaver. I kind of want to talk about Reaver, but it's just a 2 mana 4/3 that you madness out. That's it.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't think I care either.
That's what I'm talking about. Strike It Rich.
I don't.
This card is like hard to evaluate for me.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Let's read it.
yeah.
Strike It Rich is in red for a sorcery. Create a treasure token, which is a lotus petal. It has flashback 2 in a red.
Yeah.
So this card is interesting to me in like Urza, like automaton new card style shells, because or so early game it can help power out your important creatures that let you cheat on mana, and in the late game with the new card it draws a card, and it draws 2 cards because of flashback.
This card is just, I think, pretty deceptively powerful. It's a 1 mana lotus petal. So like
Yeah.
it's not that bad. Because like in a lot of like combo decks, I'm fine setting up like that. It's really good with Bergie, right?
Yeah.
It's like it turns into a ritual with Bergie.
Yeah.
I don't know if this card is good enough or what deck it goes into, but this card is definitely powerful enough to see play.
Yeah.
Havard Scoundrel
Oh, Tavern Scoundrel. I'm into this
is
card.
one in event. If you win a full coin flip, create 2 treasure. It has tap, sack, another permanent flip a coin, and it is a 1/3 human rogue.
Coin flips.
So this card is hard to evaluate because I think the rules are a bit murky, and whether or not it works with Mana Clash.
Yes.
Because according to traditional words, it shouldn't. But if its second ability works with its first ability, then Mana Clutch might work.
Yeah, you would think the first ability would work, but according to the current version of the Magic rules, flipping a coin without a outcome doing anything, it doesn't count as winning or losing a flip. You have to call the flip or whatever, and when the second ability is activated, you don't actually call anything.
There's also a secondary thing with this. This plus Phonetic Efreet makes infinite mana. Many astute financial people notice that, and Phonetic Efreet has gone from $10 to $60.
It's $60. Oh my god!
Jesus.
I have I got a bunch in a
And
collection.
by
Let's go,
many,
boys.
and by many astute financial people, I was one of those people.
Yeah.
So smart.
Look at you, Michael. You're so smart.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Not playable in
Yeah,
modern,
so-
but
We don't think it's playable in modern, but if it works with Mana Clutch, it might be as like a weird ritual.
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty. If it works with Backlash, it's kind of sick.
Yeah, because on every flip you're 0.25 to lose, and with a thumb you're only 12% to lose, and you keep going. So you get whatever 7/8 to the x equals 50% number of mana. You get twice that mana, whatever that x is.
Also, funnily enough, I do not think it actually works the way you want it to with Phonetic Efreet.
Why not?
At least in paper Magic.
Why is that?
I don't think you can legally just say I'm gonna flip a coin 100,000 times because I think you have to flip it because it's gonna determine the actually you're making.
I mean, you can just like get a stack of 20 dice and say I'm gonna flip it 500
Yeah.
times and then roll the dice that many times.
Yeah, I'm in. I think a judge will rule in your favor and just say, mana.
Yeah, as long as you say a reasonable number that you do.
Actually, no,
Okay.
they might, because the judge will say choose a number, and then and that's the amount of number that you flip the dice. But then you can't say that it'll just be 50% because that's not how it works.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. You have to state
Yeah,
a number.
you definitely actually just have to flip all the dice. That's
Yeah, that's
pog.
what I'm saying.
You have to roll. You have
That's
to,
actually
you have to
pog.
roll a lot of die. This is gonna be fun in Legacy.
Just show up to an event with like 100 dice.
So there's a People Legacy event that happens every Wednesday and Friday that I'm going to with coin flips.
Coin flips.
But it's not going to be like a shitty coin flips. It's going to be like a super tuned list.
Oh, obviously. 4 Tavern Scoundrel. Best card in Legacy.
Okay, let's go to. Do you want to talk about Trap Counter? No, cool.
Hey, I kind of want to talk about Unholy Heat.
No. Okay, Unholy Heat is red for an instant, deal 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Delirium, deal 6 instead.
Yeah, that card's like
This
decent.
card's bad.
Like it's.
That's pretty bad.
I would not be surprised if this card ends up being better than Magmatic Sinkhole in any Charmer Wave decks. Like it's like a 6 mana cascadable thing in the Shardless deck because the Shardless decks in Modern that we're seeing.
Yeah, but I don't want to cascade into a sinkhole. The whole point of sinkhole is that you can't cascade.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to cascade into a removal spell that can't also go face, in case your opponent doesn't have a creature. The only removal spell you want in your deck that costs less than 3, or 3 or less, is
I
Lightning
guess like this is just a good sideboard card though. Like
I think
I would be
Sinkhle's hard.
happy. I would be happy bringing this in instead of like fucking Is It Charm, dude.
You can leave the call if you want to make fun of Visit Charm.
I mean, I cut all the charms from the Teamer deck, so.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, Flame Rift, the actual play. Oh,
Yes.
Flame Rift is one in event for a sorcery. Flame Rift deals 4 damage to each player. This is a auto 4 of and burn.
And anyone who says otherwise is dumb.
Yes.
Yep.
The question of whether or not burn is a deck is, after this set comes out is up for debate.
Because every other deck gets so many tools and Burn gets it's a good
Slight
upgrade,
upgrade.
but it's not as impactful as any other of the cards in the set.
Yeah.
And I don't think the metagame's in a place
Goblin-
where Burn's favored.
Yeah. Goblin Bombardment is one in event. Sacrifice a creature. Goblin Bombardment deals 1 damage to any target.
Yay,
Yeah, this is
sack
the
outlet.
same like vile Magus zombie deck people were talking about earlier. It's the same deck.
Goblin Bombardment
Yeah.
like sees play in those type of strategies, and it's just good.
Yeah, it's probably fine. This art looks really bad though. I don't know why there's like a humanoid foot
Yeah, this was
randomly.
the artwork they had on the.
Speed versus cutting.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was also in the Prosh EDH deck.
Gross.
Yeah, it's bad artwork.
This is the first Goblin Bombardment in foil though, so. You know,
Oh.
wah. Grill Shaman's not playable in modern.
No.
I mean, it depends if there's an art of like a lantern or a affinity deck, people might start playing this in the sideboard.
Don't play this. There's no such thing as lantern. I don't know what you're talking about.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I was just playing shenanigans or something. Anyway, Imperial Recruiter is 2 to red for a human advisor, 1/1 when it ETBs. Search a library for a creature with power 2 or less, and put it into your hand.
Yeah, this is better than Recruiter of the Garden Humans because of Reflector Mage.
I mean, Recruiter of the Guard's not legal in humans, but yeah,
What?
it's not. It's not.
Wait,
legal.
Recruiter Guard not get printed in this set?
Nope.
Oh,
You're thinking of Sanctum Prelate, which is the. Oh, we didn't go over Sanctum Prelate when we were talking about white cards. I don't know where it is.
wait, that's weird.
It should probably be at the bottom.
It's a buy a box promo, so it'll be at the bottom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We'll talk about it then. But Imperial Recruiter is really good in humans. It's good in goblins.
Yeah. It's
As I talked about, I talked a bit about the Kiki Jiki deck before as well.
it's good into Kiki. It's a powerful card.
Yeah, I'm
It's not
definitely in.
as powerful as people think it is.
Yeah, like it's just a good tutor. There's a lot of great things you can do with it. Like obviously there's the Kiki Jiki, there's the goblins, etc. But you can just like grab value cards.
Yep. I get 3 or 4 of in Modern Humans.
Yeah.
Mog Salvage, 2
Yeah.
in a red. If an opponent controls an island and you control a mountain, you may cast it without paying its cost, and it's an instant, and it's destroy target artifact.
This is the submerge
Card is
cycle I
good
was
if
talking about.
if there's like an Urza deck in the format, which is when this card was put into the set. This card is good. Right now, it's clearly not good.
Yeah, there's not a lot that's going on here. This card doesn't fit into modern at all, I don't think.
Yeah. I think people have talked about Abundant Harvest to death.
Yeah. Card's good. Card's an absurdly powerful cantrip. Green power crypts every other color.
Yep. Abundant Harvest.
Do you guys want to talk about the ooze? Vinny had a hard on for it.
Yeah, I think it's a good one of an amulet because you can put like close to any
IV
power.
Progenitor Ooze is 2 and triple green for legendary creature Ooze. That is a 2/2. It has Storm. As long as it is not, isn't legendary if it's a token, and IV enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each other Ooze you control.
Yeah. Like obviously
Probably
there's
fine as the one of an amulet.
yeah, it has synergy with Summoner's Pact, obviously.
Yeah.
And like any other one drop
Blazer, an amulet, and blah, 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 blah.
It means for control decks that kind of fights the countering pact now.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Which
pretty
they
sweet.
always kind of were because of Cavern.
Yeah.
But this makes it like pretty cut and dry.
Yep.
This is pretty sweet.
Shadow Storm is 1 and a green for sorcery. Create a green squirrel creature. Storm. That is going to be banned in Pauper within 3 months.
Yep. I think I agree with you.
Every single Storm card that has had potential to do something at Pauper was broken until it was banned. There's a Storm deck in Pauper that plays 2 and a green search library for a basic land Storm, and that deck is like close to playable.
Yes, definitely.
Yep. Storm cards, popper, broken.
Yeah. All right. Next card, not Chitter Spinner. This card doesn't do anything.
Endurance.
Endurance is
Yep.
1 green for an elemental incarnation. It's a 3/4 with flash and reach. It has ETB. Target player shuffles the graveyard and puts it on the bottom. Evoke exile green card from your hand.
Yeah, this card's a really good role player in a vintage, especially. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
This card is, I think, gets worse the newer the format gets.
Yep.
I think this card is absurd in vintage. It's good in like all of the Bazaar decks to fight other Bazaar decks. It's probably good in decks that aren't Bazaar decks to fight Bazaar decks. Like I'm pretty sure Bug is gonna play this card.
Yep.
Well, and like Team Piles. In Legacy, this is Elves gets to finally cut Lean out of the void.
Thank God.
This.
Yeah, it's also just like a free card you can cast while comboing off with Glimpse.
Yeah, it is. You can cast it with coming off with Glimpse. You could Chord for it. You can Green Sun for it. It's also counterable because you're playing a Source Shepherd.
Yep. This card's gonna be great there.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Also, if you do like if you're like forced to do like a small combo turn against the graveyard deck, you can like do a small combo into this and then cast it.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's about it on Endurance. I want to talk about Foundation Breaker.
Yeah, Foundation Breaker is great.
Yeah.
Foundation Breaker is 3 and a green for a 2/2 elemental. Enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and has evoke 1 in a green. This is a big upgrade to like Living End decks.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
Living Index will exist in this format. It gets a good amount of new tools, especially with all of the incarnations.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
Living End got a pretty big upgrade with this set.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Living End in the past has had to play cards like Gitsua.
Whismer.
Cards like Cage. Or not Cage, but like.
Yeah, and get you to kill.
Like Tormod's Crypto Relic.
Yeah, and Whismer to kill Leyline, and this card just does both in one card, which is insane.
Yeah, it's a bit more expensive,
And
but who cares?
Yeah.
You also get it back into your graveyard, which is really sweet, because you can stack the triggers to destroy whatever it is, and then put it in your graveyard.
Yep, that's nice. I'm in. All right, next card, Gaia's Will. It has Suspend, but this one might actually be playable.
It has to spend. If there's anyone that is playable, it is this one.
Yes.
It's a sorcery, suspend 4G. Till end of turn, you may play lands from your graveyard and cast spells from your graveyard. If a card will be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile it instead.
Cool.
Oh.
Green gets Yawgmoth's Will now.
Yep.
I think if this card is playable, it means red gets Yawgmoth's Will.
Yeah. That's fair.
I think they think the way I see this card being played is with Electro Dominance. And I don't know how else this card would see play.
What will it
But
go with?
What?
What will it go with? Like in Modern, how do you combo with it?
I don't know.
I
if we
really
can
don't.
use it.
I really don't think this card's good. Card's
Yawgmoth's Will is
just-
an incredibly powerful effect. I don't know if it's this could be legacy playable.
Maybe.
Uh,
I don't know.
You have LEDs and Lotus Petals.
okay, but how are you cheating suspend mechanic?
Electro
I guess-
Dominance and Legacy. That's like, you know.
Ew.
You know.
Ew.
Stop that. I can pretty easily construct a turn to kill with that.
I guess.
Like, I'm not saying it's good enough, but it is a powerful enough effect that I think trying to put some amount of work into it is like.
Sure.
I don't want to
Alright.
like say this card's unplayable when it is. It has that effect. You know what I mean?
Sure. All right, let's talk about Glimmer Baron because the art is fucking adorable.
It's a little. Is that a little
It's
butterfly?
an oof.
Yeah, it's like an oof that's not a douchebag, which is kind of interesting. Except he all looks creepy as shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Have you ever seen Over the Hedge?
I have seen
Over
Over
the
the Hedge.
Fuck, what is it?
What?
Over the Garden Wall?
I don't
know.
remember.
It was some Cartoon Network like special.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this card's doesn't do anything.
Ignoble Hierarch.
Ignoble Hierarch.
Combo goblins. Combo goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ignoble Hierarch is G for Goblin Shaman. That is an 0-1. It has Exalted. And taps for Jund colors.
Sweet. Noble Hierarch, but Jund and Goblin.
Goblin.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we talked about combo goblins. We talked about Kiki Cord. What else does this slot into?
Big
I would be
Jund.
shocked if like you could play this. People play this card in like a Jund style deck.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I really don't want to be
I
playing
wouldn't
this in
be shocked
Cascade,
for this.
but
No, this card doesn't go in Cascade.
yeah.
But I don't think it'd be bad in like some like aggressive Luris Jund style deck too.
Yeah, I think this card is good at Shadow, like Jund Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if there's room for it, but like Jund Shadow for a deck that has all 2-drops, uses Shadow really well.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Being able to go turn 1 this, turn 2 like Hex Drinker 2-drop.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You have Luris, but it's like you always want to cast a creature.
It's hard for me to justify any other 1-drop before adding 4 Ragavan to my deck.
Yeah. Real quick, Jade Avenger is weird to me. I read all the Kamigawa books. There was never a single mention of frogs, but now there's a frog samurai. Kind of a yikes.
And it
Not
says,
really
yeah,
the
it says
first-
traditional children's rhyme, so it's not like a new card. That's weird. I don't know. Skip the next line. Sanctum Weaver. This card's good.
It is 1 and a green for Enchantment Creature Dryad. That is an 0-2. It has tap and X mana to your mana pool of any one color where X is the number of enchantments you control.
Yeah, so this is maybe gonna make Enchantress viable. There's also maybe some combo deck this and Freed from the Real, because that's all you need to make infinite mana by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, this deck is.
Efficient way to make infinite mana in Modern right now.
This might actually be one of the easiest ways to do it.
So there's like Druid, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Devoted
That's
Druid
still
is,
a 2-card combo. Yeah.
Yeah, this is another 2-card infinite mana combo. There's multiple 2-card infinite mana combos with Devoted Druid, I'll say.
sweet.
Yeah, it's Devoted Druid.
Devoted Druid.
Yeah, well, there's the card that turns it into a creature into an enchantment.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't. Do you want to talk about Sylvan Anthem?
There's a card plus Scurry Oak in this set that goes infinite.
Whenever one or more plus most counters are put on Scurry Oak, make a squirrel.
Oh, it's probably the squirrel we passed over earlier.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I don't know.
Whatever. I don't want to talk about Squirrel Sanctuary or Sylvan Anthem.
In every card that's school is bad.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Thrasta?
Yeah, people are
experimenting.
Terramorph?
I think
Terramorph
Terramorph
is pretty good.
Pretty interesting. It is 3 and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library, and it has rebound.
Sure.
This card is good at Valakut decks.
Yeah, Valakut decks sometimes would play Explosive Vegetation. This is pretty much a strict upgrade over it.
Yeah, obviously it gets fucked by Teferi, but having the lands come into play untapped is sweet.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. This card sets up for like pretty fast kills.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, yeah, Thrasta is pretty interesting. I don't know how good it's gonna be. You have to cast a
Shut
lot
up,
of
Will.
spells.
Thrasta is 10 green for a 7/7 legendary dinosaur. It costs 3 less for each other spell this turn. It has trample, haste. It tramples over planeswalkers, which means this creature can deal excess combat damage to the controller of the planeswalker it's attacking. And it has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. Now you may go.
I lost my train of thought.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool.
People want to bleed playing this card in like Burning Tree Emissary, Metamorphose, Hidden Herbalist decks, but
Yeah, it's definitely great
I
in
don't
those
think
decks.
like obviously it's great in those decks, but those decks just don't do anything.
Yeah, those decks like you're already trying to high roll, and like you have to have like what is it 3 to be reasonable to cast? You have to have 3 Burning Tree effects.
Yeah,
You have
like
to have 4
casting this on
if you
turn
want
3 is just
2.
bad. I want to cast this on turn 2 for it to be playable, and you need like 4 spells: Metamorphose, 2 Herbalists, and a Bauble.
Yeah, or a Burning Tree.
And then all you're doing is attacking for 7.
The closest this card is to playable is a competitive EDH. It goes infinite by itself with Food Chain.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There are better ways to do it, but that's close as I see this card to be.
Is there even a way to win in mono green after doing? Oh, just Walking Ballista. I don't even know what to ask. Cool. Skip over Timeless Witness.
Tireless
Next turn, do we
Provisioner.
want to? I don't want to talk about Tireless.
Yeah,
Provisioner.
never mind.
Like, speaking of Tyler, shut up.
Card is so bad. Let's talk about Verdant Command because I think the card's actually really underrated.
Yeah, good.
Oh, I think they got pretty good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like on rate, it's just a 2-mana omen.
What does it do, Will?
Choose for 1 and a green. Instant. Choose 2. Target player creates 2 tapped 1/1 green squirrel tokens. Counter target loyalty ability of a planeswalker. Exile target card from a graveyard or gain 3 life.
Wow.
So most of the time you're gonna make 2 tokens and gain 3, and it's kind of like a smaller timely reinforcements for 1 more mana, 1 less mana. But it also has additional effects in not being dead in your control mirror and exiling cards in graveyard in the main deck.
Sweet.
So like maybe some like Bant control deck or something could play this card.
Yeah, no, I'm in.
So squirrels, XD funny, lol.
Haha, squirrels. I get it.
Enchantress's presence is a 2 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an enchantment, draw a card.
Draw a card. You know?
Yeah, we'll need to test Enchantress to see if it's playable. Our suspicion is fringe, but probably not tier 1.
Yeah. It has
I
some
don't
good
want to talk
tools.
about Hunting
You want to talk about what?
Quirion Ranger.
Oh, Quirion Ranger.
Is a green for an elf ranger that is a 1/1. It has return a force to your hand, untap target creature. You spell the only once each turn.
Yeah.
This is one of the cards that makes Legacy Elves playable. It is one of the best cards, if not the best card in Pauper. Like,
Yep.
Like, this card is going to make elves a force, I think. Like, you don't have Priest of
I don't know
Titania,
if
but you
it's
do
gonna
have
play
Elvish
elves.
Archdruid.
Like, I don't know if this is gonna play elves for this card. Like,
I
I'm good
guess.
with Matador. Like,
Yeah, turn one elf,
Like,
turn
you
one
could
elves,
really-
turn
like,
2
you could-
Archdruid. That you just start going sicko mode.
I mean, even just like, imagine if you're playing like Helion or like Ponza or something, and you go turn 1 Arbor Elf, turn 2 Lad to play this.
What? That doesn't make any sense, Michael.
No, play your. Oh, sorry, yeah. Play Utopia.
You have the
Sprawl.
same mana that turn and the same mana the turn after.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yes, because you returned a land to your hand. Unless you already have the Arbor of Utopia Sprawl.
Yeah, having Quirion Ranger does mean you get to generate more mana with your Arbor Elf turn. You're able to bring it up to 5,
Yeah.
which is sweet.
It also just means that like you can keep one landers a lot. I don't know. The card is very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to be playing with
Titania?
this. Yeah,
That card's gonna probably replace Primetime in the
what
green
does
white
Titania
commander
do,
deck.
Will?
Titania, Protector of Argoth, is a reprint, which all of you commander players should know. Green, 3, legendary creature, elemental. When Titania, Protector of Argoth, enters the battlefield, return target land card from a graveyard to the battlefield. When a land you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 green elemental creature token.
5/3.
Wow.
This card's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great. I mean, I think Vincent was talking about a version of the deck that plays Urza Saga to grab Zuran Orbs. You just cast Titania and sack all your lands to make an army of 5/3s.
Kind of bog.
It's like, that's not totally unreasonable.
It is awkward that the stats playable, I will say, in a format where I expect to see a lot of red decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it doesn't die to Lightning Bolt, you usually win the game that turn.
Yep.
Due to the amount of damage you can attack for and how nicely it interacts with the Valakut Flagstone's Reclaimer package.
Yep.
Okay, next up we have Silverware Golem.
Yep. Silver Golem.
All right. I got this. All right. Asmoran. Wait, hold on. Asmorano Mardikadaistera Kuldikar.
You get dice.
So Silverware Golem.
Yeah, I got most of it. We're good. So, we're gonna call this a big ass name.
All right, I got it.
Don't say Silver Run Golem. That's a Hearthstone card. All right.
Asmaram Mardik Adis. Nah, I give up.
All right, we're gonna call her a long ass name lady.
We're calling her Silver Golem.
No, we are not. No one is calling her Silverware Golem.
The official SunnyDaze pronunciation guide says it's Silverware Golem.
No.
It says
Okay.
discard, and it's a 3/3.
Don't care. Okay, so as Asmoronic Modicard good bad it doesn't have a mana cost. It's a legendary human wizard 3/3. It's black and red. As long as you've discarded a card this turn, you can pay black or red to cast a spell. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named the Underworld Cookbook. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You can sack 2 foods to have target creature deal 6 damage to itself. In order to understand this card in context, I'm going to read Underworld Cookbook as well, which is a artifact for 1 mana. It has tap, discard a card, create a food token, and you can pay 4, tap, sacrifice it to return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. This card is going to enable madness on its own.
Yep.
This card's insane. Like, obviously, there's the interaction with it in Street Wraith. You just play 1 mana 3/3 and start beating down. And then you cast a cookbook, start making foods, deal with your opponent's board. This is just a 1 mana army. Win the game.
Yep.
It generates card advantage because the Underworld Cookbook is definitely the best discard outlet that Modern has at this point. Faithless Looting's gone, but this card is just repeatable. You're able to discard Vengevines, Bloodghasts, Oxes, whatever you want in black, red,
Imps.
green Madness decks.
New card.
Kitchen Imp, yep.
Yeah, there's maybe a version of the deck that even plays Feasting Troll King to use the foods that it's producing to make a 7/6.
Yep. One interaction I want to talk about with the Underworld Cookbook is if you play a turn 1 Cookbook, you can cycle a Street Wraith and then discard a Call to the Netherworld to return the Street Wraith to your hand, cycle it again, and then cast a Hollow 1 or 2 or 3 for 0 mana. You were saying something, Michael?
No, I was actually going to bring that up.
Sweet. Okay.
All right, next card we talk about is Dakin. I don't think this card is very good.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of hard to evaluate. But
Hold on, Will. I got this one. I'm not going to make you do it. It's for Esper Colors, a 0 loyalty planeswalker. It enters the battlefield with loyalty counters equal to the number of lands you control. It has +1 Surveil 2, -3 exile target creature, and -6 you may put an artifact card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield.
Yeah, I keep forgetting we're trying to also do a podcast instead of just a video.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so this card's like pretty hard to evaluate because like I don't think it's that good. So like for 3 mana you get a removal spell, but like Esper you can do that for 1 mana. And then like surveilling 2 and a +1 is pretty bad.
yes, it's not quite drawing a card, and the -3 doesn't gain you any other sort of advantage like some other removal spells do, and then -6 does nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't. The -6 doesn't do anything in the deck that you'd want the rest of the card to be in,
Yeah.
which is really awkward.
I just don't think this card is any better than like Esper Charm. That's like kind of the slot it's taking.
Yeah, Esper Charm's just
So
better.
the issue is to be a 3-mana planeswalker, you have to do a lot. You have to do more than a 4-mana planeswalker would do, which is like kind of weird.
Yeah, just because of the way the curve works, you have to compete with all of the War of the Spark Planeswalkers, and that's really hard.
Yeah.
And this card isn't even really a 3-mana planeswalker. I don't want to be playing this until like turn 4 or 5 when I can like hold it open with a path or fatal push or counterspell.
Yeah, so I guess the slot it'd actually be competing for is the Teferi Hero of Dominaria spot.
And yeah,
You know, it kind of does the same thing where you're casting a 3-mana Planeswalker in 5, but then
no shot.
it's going down to 2 to like it's just you're surveilling 2 instead of drawing a card. It's so bad.
Yep, I'm not in.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good for Dakin Slayer.
Let's start Aethersworn Sphinx. This card is not. I don't. It costs way too much to CP in the Affinity deck.
No, that card's not playable. Let's go to the next playable card, which is General Foyalkos.
Well, we should talk about Garth like a little bit because he's.
No, that
cool.
card is a playable.
I mean, it's not playable, but he's cool. He makes Black Lotuses.
Sure. Garth One Eye is for Wooburg, a legendary human wizard, 5/5. Tap. Choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus. Create a copy of that card with the chosen name. You may cast the copy. You still pay the copy's cost.
I'm sad that I'll never cast this card.
Yeah, because this card's sweet.
Card's sweet. Maybe I'll open it in like one of the 2 seals I do, but
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's sweet and sealed.
Yep.
I mean, it's probably really good in sealed.
Yeah, it's just game winning and sealed.
All the
I'll
cards.
start with the general because the general.
Okay,
Is insane.
General Floricos Roderick is 1 red white for legendary creature.
No, I'll just say
That's
Ferris.
a 3.
Ferris. It is
Sorry.
Ferris.
Yeah, I said it right. That is a 3/1. Whenever you cast it has hexproof for multicolored.
Monocolored.
Monocolored, sorry. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, you create a 4/4 golem.
Sweet.
Artifact. Creature token.
Yeah.
Something
So
mana
there's a
Metamorphose.
multicolored zoo deck. This and the dragon and
Yep.
a couple other new cards. It got a lot of support, and
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an incredibly powerful aggressive deck.
Yeah, one of the decks we posted was a tribal-esque deck where every card in the main deck that you are able to cascade into is multicolored aside from the Wild Nacatls. So you are able to cascade Bloodbraid Elf into any of your other multicolored cards, gain 2 4/4s. If you get a Metamorphose, you can cast another spell from your hand to get 3 4/4s. This card
is like an aggressive, like an aggressive slotted mid-range deck. That, like, this guy's like pretty good. This card's also probably good in humans.
I doubt it. There's not enough multicolored cards that are playable. I suspect people are going to go down on numbers on Meddling Mage once you print Sanctum Prelate.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
maybe
the human's also going to become like an Imperial Recruiter deck, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I wouldn't be surprised if this all played in humans.
This might be one of the good sleeper cards in this set. This card is just so good.
Yeah.
It might create an archetype on its own in Modern, which is pretty surprising for a shitty creature.
If you look at it, so the only card that like people play right now that like actually kill it is Red and 6. And of course, it looks very embarrassing if your opponent has a Red and 6 in play. And you're looking at
Yeah, Dam isn't white, correct?
What?
Dam is not white. It is just black, correct?
Yeah, it's just black.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, but it says destroy all creatures. It destroys this.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
You have to abrupt decay this or whatever.
So, but if you get like one,
But I mean, it does die because it's just hexproof and not protection. It does die to like pyroclasm effects.
Sure.
Sure. But no one's playing those.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you get one, even if you get one trigger and then they find a way to kill it, I don't care. I got a trigger.
You made a 4/4. Golems are traditionally 3/3s. This is a 4/4.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Also,
Golems are effectively colorless.
It's also red and white, which interacts nicely with Scion of the Draco in the deck we posted. That's the
It's also red and white, which interacts good with being the 2 good aggressive colors. Wow.
Yeah.
No, I mean the golem's red white, not only the
Yeah.
creature. So it's sweet.
Yeah.
the card might see play in Niv.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe 1 or
Like,
2 of.
pretty good 3-drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
All
surprised.
right, let's talk about the Planeswalker because it's a Planeswalker.
I don't want to talk about
No.
the Planeswalker. It's really unplayable.
Yeah. I want to talk
I
about Goblin.
I want to talk about Goblin Arachnomancer.
So what I wish about the Planeswalker is I wish that it also gave EU protection from the cards with corruption counters while it was on play.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty good then, because then it'd be like drain plus ice a creature or arrest a creature.
Yeah, there's
It's
just way
dumb,
too much text in this
so.
card to read it. All right, so Goblin Anarchiomancer is for red green, a 2/2 Goblin Shaman. Each spell you cast that's red or green costs 1 less to cast. Pauper, right?
Yeah, this probably goes into the Squirrel deck.
Into the Storm.
Yep.
It's
Maybe not though. You have
Maybe.
one.
Yeah.
yeah, this card's just good. I think I said something about Fecundity earlier. This card's just good in the Goblin's Fecundity deck.
Yeah, the card's pretty good. Nothing much to say about it.
Yep.
It's a little bit of,
You know. All right, let's
Yeah.
say
Grist.
yeah, Grist. Grist is for 1 black green, a 3/3 Planeswalker with 3 loyalty. As long as Grist is not on the battlefield, it's a 1/1 insect in addition to its other types. +1, create a 1/1 black-green insect creature token, then mill a card. If an insect was milled this way, repeat this process and put a loyalty counter on it. -2, you may sack a creature. If you do, destroy target creature or planeswalker. And -5, each opponent loses life equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Obviously, this
what
card's
I'm-
cute with Green Sun Zenith, Court of Calling, whatever, but that's not extremely relevant in Modern. The only card that's relevant in Modern is Collected Company and
Yeah.
Unearth.
Yep. What I am excited for with this card is to see how Moto reacts with Necrotic Ooze in it.
Oh, yeah. That's... yeah, that's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
You just
I
start...
want to see some sick Moto crashes.
Yep. Yeah.
In all seriousness, I think this card is like close to being playable in like Jund. Like I've been pretty low on Lily for a while, and I think it is better than Liliana of the Veil.
Sure.
I'm not sure
Because
if it is.
plussing a planeswalker that plusses to protect itself, especially on 3 mana, is really underrated. Because it's not something that happens very often.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest thing is it doesn't come down and immediately kill something, which is like a pretty nice thing about Lily.
Yeah.
No, that
I
makes
can
sense.
see it. Like it is close to playable. I'm not convinced though. It's ultimate. Also, not doing anything is kind of upsetting.
Yeah, I'm not into that. Overall, I don't think this card's going to have a large impact on Modern unless someone figures out how to make this go infinite with something.
I already
Maybe-
looked. There's nothing to make it go infinite, but
Okay.
I think there could be like some fair Coco deck that pops up because of this card.
And just plays this as a value shitter.
Yeah.
Most Coco deck. The issue is most Coco decks want a Coco on the opponent's turn.
Yeah. That is an issue. Do you want to talk about Lunis or not really?
No.
Shit, I want to talk about Master of Death.
Oh, let's talk about Master of Death. Master of Death is for 1 blue black, a 3/1 zombie wizard. When it enters the battlefield, you surveil 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Master of Death is in your graveyard, you may pay a life. If you do, return it to your hand. Squeeze.
So the relevant parts about that card is it is blue and black, and it has the second line of text. There's a vintage deck that plays Squee, Goblin of Boob, and it gets to play this now in addition to it, which is just significantly better as it pitches to Force of Will, it pitches to Corruption, and it pitches Contagion, and it pitches to Unmask.
You mean Grief?
No, it probably will play both.
Sure.
Yeah. Basically, just pitch Dredge and Vintage. You play Bazaar. You fill your graveyard, and then with cards like this and Squee, you get to actually draw cards with Bazaar every turn as you're dredging.
This card does nothing in Modern currently.
Yeah, this card is only
This card
relevant.
does nothing in any of them.
Yeah, because we don't have looting anymore. There's no way to generate real advantage with this. So, not in.
Yeah.
Moderation
Moderation.
is 1 blue-white for the enchantment. You cannot cast more than one spell each turn. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. One, the flavor of this card is nice. It's like it's a good thing, but you can only have a little bit of it. There's a nice little monk in the background, like taking a shower.
He's asked, please, sir, may I have another?
Yeah,
No, yeah, I'm in. This card's sweet. Doesn't do
I
anything.
want this. I want to play this card and just play a deck of all counter spells in this. It's not good, but it seems sweet.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this card is that it works on both your turn and your opponent's turn. So you want to be playing a mix of like sorcery speed removal and instant speed counter spells and stuff.
Yeah,
To keep cycling through your deck.
sure, that makes sense.
Well, I could see it working. It's just that you're gonna have a hard time justifying this card, especially in Modern, where like Burns' game plan against control is already to make like a critical mass of burn spells, and that's really easy if your opponent can only cast one spell a turn. Just overload you on your end
The
step.
card works really well with all the pitch cards too because like pays you back.
Yeah, that's also true.
The dragons are unplayable. Spell Light's white black for a 2/2 human warlock. It has tap sack. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate it only as a sorcery, and it has unearth 3 white black. You may return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, exile at the beginning of the next end step, or if you would leave the battlefield. And you can only do that ability as a sorcery.
Yeah, so we were talking a bit about the black-white Reanimator deck before, and this card is pretty decent. Like, obviously, it's a Reanimator thing that you can't use until turn 3, but it does have the nice play pattern of, like, turn 2 cast Priest, turn 3 cast Unmarked Grave, and then reanimate the card that you just grabbed.
Yeah, it's really awkward to me that I'm trying to play a Reanimator deck and my opponent can Lightning Bolt or
Yeah.
Fatal Push.
Like, we do have Persist, but this is the only other, like, playable 2-mana Reanimator spell that we have access to in Modern. So you take what you can get. Yeah, the Unearth feature is nice, though. It's like kind of like
Talk about
Unburial
Rakdos
Rites.
Headliner.
I do want to talk about Rakdos Headliner a lot. Rakdos Headliner is for black-red, a 3/3 devil with haste, and it has Echo of discard a card. Echo is, for those of you who don't know, at the beginning of your upkeep, if this came under your controls at the beginning, since the beginning of your last upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay its Echo cost. Echo is normally a downside, but with Rakdos Headliner, it's usually going to be an upside. In the Madness deck we posted, we did not include Rakdos Headliner. That was a more aggro version. We were working a bit on a more aggro / mid-range version that didn't play Hollow One. It didn't play Vengevine. It just played more Madness-based cards like Fiery Temper and Call to Netherworld. So this card would fit pretty well in there. It's an aggressively statted creature, so you just play it on 2 and attack. You can, in your upkeep, discard a Kitchen Imp to attack for 5. It does some really sweet things. I'm excited to play with this card in maybe not the most playable of Madness decks, but it's going to be fun.
Artwork kind of sweet too, like impossibly large jaw.
Yep, I like it.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Ravenous Squirrel?
No,
Okay.
I want to talk about Road to Ruin.
Road to Ruin. Sure. Road to Ruin is a Aftermath split card. So Road is 2 and a green and instant. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. Ruin is for 1 red sorcery with Aftermath. Ruin deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. Why do you think this card's good, Michael?
I'm not saying the card's good. I'm saying the card is like potential, like has some. It's like sort of interesting. I think having an instant speed rapid growth is like pretty powerful.
I just skipped over the instant part when I first looked at it. Yeah, that's not bad. Like, it has application in the Titan decks, definitely.
Like I'm not claiming this card is the truth. I'm not claiming this card is busted, but this card has potential. Like an instant speed vampire growth for 1 more mana that like later in the game can kill something. Like
Yeah. Sadly, it can't hit
it's
planeswalkers like Ashiok, but
yeah, it's flexible. It's
Mm-hmm.
like solid.
yeah, this card's good. Let's talk about Scythus, Harvest Hand. Scythus is for green white, a 1/2 legendary enchantment nymph. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. A 2 mana enchantress in modern. It's not Argothian Enchantress, but it's still pretty effective.
Yeah.
Like, it's an
If the
enchantment itself as
enchantress
well.
deck, yeah. If the enchantress deck is good, it's gonna play this card.
Yeah.
My biggest concern with the Enchantress deck is Enchantress is really based off of Algothian Enchantress, and
Not being able to
this isn't
die.
Algothian Enchantress. The fact that it dies,
Yeah, that's an issue.
Like-
That's an issue.
and there's also the issue of you can only have 1 in play.
Yeah, it is legendary, which is annoying. But it's still going to be an important piece that you're going to play 4 of, and you're going to be happy with it, I think.
I mean, I'm gonna if the deck it's gonna be like begrudgingly fine in the deck. I don't know. I'm not. It's gonna be a 4, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think you're gonna cast it and be like, God, why is this not Argothian Enchantress? But you're still gonna cast it and be like, ooh, draw a card. Ooh, draw a card.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be drawing 2 cards.
True. Terminal
Sam,
Agony.
Are you? Please no.
Terminal Agony.
I'm begging you.
I don't think
have
I do
kids.
want to talk about it. Terminal Agony is for 2 black-red sorcery, destroy target creature with Madness of black-red. I don't think this card's good in the Madness deck. That being said, I don't know. Removals condition, like, this is kind of unconditional removal, but it's conditional in the fact that in order to make it cost cheap, you have to have an Underworld Cookbook in play. There are no good discard outlets in Modern besides the Underworld Cookbook, so if you do not have that card, you are not casting this card for an efficient cost.
Hear me out. What if we just played Terminate if you want an unconditional removal spell?
Yeah, you know.
Cool. Next, Territorial Kavu is red-green for creature Kavu that's power tough to succeed with a number of basic land types among lands you control. When it attacks, you can choose 1. Discard a card if you do draw a card, or exile up to 1 card in a graveyard.
This
This card's good.
card's great.
It's
Like-
gonna be a 2-mana 5/5 a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, typically it's going to be a 2-mana 4/4 that becomes a 2-mana 5/5 on the next turn when it attacks.
Yeah. That's normally bigger than Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf baseline, like, you put it in your deck expecting it to be a 4/5.
Yes. In the early game, you expect it to be a 3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card just, like, as it attacks, it becomes a 5/5 that, like, rummages or does another
this
cute thing
card
that's
is-
irrelevant.
Focus Leo. Triomes are really fucking good with Domain. I
Yeah.
don't know if you knew this. They have 3 basic land types.
I did know that. I don't... the version we posted has 1 Triome. It might be possible that we want 2 in this deck. It might be possible that we want 0. I would be surprised if it's 0. This card is just so efficient at 2 mana. You would be foolish to not put a Triome in your deck.
Like even if there's not like a big, like I can see a more aggressive one with like 4 wild Nactals, 4 of those, 4 tribal flames. Just
Well, I mean, the list I posted had all 12 of those cards.
yeah, but like
Kurt Apes and shit.
like Kurt Apes, like a zoo deck.
You wouldn't play Kurt Ape because that card sucks. You play Goblin Guide or whatever, and Ragavan.
Yeah, but like you know,
Yeah, I understand.
yeah, there's not much more to say.
Yeah.
Yoswachs.
Do we want to talk about this card? It doesn't do anything.
Shut up, Sam.
Okay.
It's flying for 2/3. It's a legendary creature at 3. When it attacks, choose a number between 1 and 5 and flip that many coins. For each flip you win, draw a card. For each flip you lose, deal 2 damage. Then if you won 5 flips this way, you may cast spells from your hand this turn without paying the mana cost. So yeah, you read this card, it's like, yeah, this card's shit. Why would I ever play this card? Croc's Thumb XD LOL. Then you realize it's a 2/3 flyer for 3. That, like, if you name, let's say 4, you're gonna draw 2 cards a turn and take 4.
Yeah.
It's like not a bad way. This card is like theoretically playable in Legacy Delver. After, like, in a little bit, like if the format slows down and Ragavan gets banned or something.
It does.
After Ragavan gets banned.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, of
but
course.
this card is like not bad.
Yeah, no. Like,
Like, it's like a 3-mana Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Sort of, yeah.
it's a bit
There are
inefficient.
a lot of those
but-
in Legacy, though.
Yeah.
There are a lot
This
of
is one
3-mana
of the
cards
best.
that draw an extra card. No, I think there are better ones.
They're just like, this is a like being a being.
You know,
a
I think it's just worse than the whale.
You cannot play 4 Wills, Will. You're aware of this, right?
Why not?
Because it has
I
delve.
think I'm not saying this is a 4 of. I'm saying this is like a 1 or a 2 of, but I can see this slotting in.
Yes.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about Fire Ice.
All right.
Yeah.
Fire Ice is a split card. It has Fire of 1 and a red instant, deal 2 damage, divided as you choose among any 2 targets, 1 or 2 targets. And Ice is 1 and a blue instant, tap target permanent, draw a card.
So
Finally.
this card was good, and then Wizards decided to power group the fuck out of this card, and they printed Izzet Charm.
No. You're missing the point of this card. The point of this card is for living end style decks.
Yes.
Because technically, in your deck is a CMC
It
of
is a
4.
Yeah, it's
You can play early removal in your Cascade Living End deck, which is insane. Very good.
Yes, I agree. This is a great addition to Modern, finally. Let's skip Mirari's Wake, because it's unplayable.
I just want to complain real quick that that's a mythic.
What?
Yeah, nice little 30-cent mythic in our Modern Horizons deck.
Yeah, whatever.
Is that
Shardless Agent.
Hog?
Shardless Agent is for 1 blue-green, a 2/2 artifact creature, human rogue with Cascade. Broken.
Yeah, so what people are trying with this card at first is a pile with, like, See the Truth in various colors, where basically if you Cascade into See the Truth, you just draw 3. It's a 3-mana 2/2, draw 3. And I think that idea is good, but, like, it's also just good, because, like, a lot of 2-drops, when they also come with a 2/2, are just good on rate for 3 in Modern.
Yeah. That's completely reasonable. Yeah, this card's going to do a ton.
Yeah, this card's been played in a wide variety of decks.
Another Cascade card for living. And
Yes.
so you have like more options on one.
Yeah, it's also a Cascade card for Living End that gets around Deafening Silence.
Ooh,
Which is
true.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. All right, Sterling Grove. Sterling Grove is for green-white and enchantment.
Real quick, it's like the best Cascade card in the sense that it actually does something when you play it. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
like, if you cast out this agent to hit a living end to like math the board and get like back literally just a street wraith, you're like kind of happy, right?
Sure, I would be.
Sure. You also get a 2/2. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, Sterling Grove. Green-white enchantment. Other enchantments you control have Shroud. Pay 1, sacrifice Sterling Grove. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, shuffle it, and put it on top of your library. Yet again,
So
this
this
is
card is
this is another card that removes the word library, so you just put it on top.
yeah. So this is part of the lock in Enchantress, where you basically get 2 Enchantresses, Solitary Confinement, and Sterling Grove.
Yeah.
The only question is if it's going to be fast enough in Modern, because Modern is really fast, and the mana is
Okay,
not as
how
good
you-
because you don't have Sarah's Sanctum.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Also,
is
the
going to be a
intro
key
of-
piece.
While you were gone, Will, we talked about how the 2-mana Enchantress is legendary, which is really awkward and can die to removal.
Yeah, it is awkward.
Yep.
You still play 4 of it, obviously, because it is a 2-mana Enchantress, and it's the only one in Modern.
Yes.
Vindicate. It's good in the Niv deck.
Yeah.
I was playing a little bit of Moto today, and my opponent was on the play. They went turn 1. Utopia Sprawl. I went to one island, then they cast fucking Vindicate, and I felt real bad.
It was sweet.
Yeah, this card's absurd in Niv.
Yeah.
100%.
I like it.
To be fair, I won that game by force, but still.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you were playing 4 Esper Charm in your deck.
All right.
I don't think this goes in Esper purely because it's a sorcery, but definitely in the Poobier.
This card is not playable.
Yeah, but in the Poobier decks, it's insane.
Yes.
This card is good in decks with ramp.
Yeah.
Is I think the big thing.
All
Because
right.
with decks with ramp, you get to like stun win your opponent sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's a terminate that you gotta like actually randomly bias your opponent with.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yep.
impactful. All right, artifacts. Academy Manufacturer. 3 mana, 1/3. Artifact creature assembly worker. If you'd create a food, clue, or treasure token, create one of each instead. Will, would you like to talk about this card?
Yeah, so I'm working on, Fair Urza, Goose, Tireless Tracker, Urza, maybe the new red card that makes a treasure.
Ragavan?
Or no, the other one. The sorcery.
Oh, would you play Ragavan?
Probably.
Sweet.
But the deck doesn't really want to play too much removal, so it's hard to hit with it. I don't know. There's just a lot of cards that go into the deck, and it's gonna be hard to tune it down.
Why is it good?
It's good because you make lots of tokens for Urza.
Mayonnaise.
Urza is really good at using lots of normally bad artifacts and just winning you the game on the spot.
Is there a playable infinite?
No, your infinite is spinning Urza twice, and your opponent concedes.
Would you not consider what's it called? What was the screenshot? Caleb McVeigh posted a dumb screenshot about Academy Manufacturer going infinite with Cauldron Familiar, Witch's Oven, and Clock of Omens.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a dumb infinite, but
Clock of Omens is as a consideration for the Urza sword decks because it goes infinite with Thopter Sword, right?
yeah, Clock of Omens, Thopter Sword was a deck that existed a week before Urza got spoiled.
Yes.
And it's definitely interesting because you can war for it, so you can war for all of your pieces except for the Cauldron Familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see if that ends up in the final build of the deck.
Yep. I doubt it will.
Definitely something I'm going to tinker on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Blah 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 blah. Brainstone.
Nope.
Okay. Dermotaxi.
I think everyone putting Brainstone into their Wars decks is insane.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just play Star.
Yeah. Dermotaxi. I don't think this card's good.
I don't think it's good.
2
I
untapped
think
creatures
this
is a
card's
lot.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the issue is you need to be playing a deck with a creature you want to cheat, right?
Yeah, let's read the card because it's kind of complicated. Dermotaxi is a 2 mana artifact vehicle. Has imprint as Dermotaxi enters the battlefield. Exile a creature card from a graveyard. Tap 2 untapped creatures you control. Until end of turn, Dermotaxi becomes a copy of the exiled card, except it's a vehicle in addition to its other types. It doesn't have a crew cost, but you kind of crew it by tapping 2 untapped creatures, and it becomes the creature it imprinted before.
Yeah, this card is really hard to evaluate because there's just not a reanimator deck that also puts small shitters into play.
Yes.
Yeah, the best part about this card by a wide margin is it's called Dermo Taxi, which is just a pun, and it's
It's sweet. Yeah, I'll give you that.
so kind of dope. It's a woolly mammoth with wheels put on it and some people riding it.
Oh, yeah.
Sicko mode.
They are, in
Crocodile,
fact, going
as we
sicko
said.
mode. Do you want to talk about Diamond Lion? I kind of don't.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to talk about it.
I want to talk about Cauldron Complete.
Okay. So Color Complete. I don't think it's called Complete. I think it's called Complete. Complete?
I don't.
It's definitely not Complete. Cauldron Complete is 7 mana legendary equipment.
No, Sam. They literally just made a typo of the card.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Why is it not a typo on the right underneath the card?
Wait.
Oh. Wait, do I not know how to spell complete? Wait.
Wait, now I'm confused.
No,
myself.
no, I'm looking it up. Complete, spelled Pleat, is a archaic spelling of complete.
Yeah.
So it's definitely correct. All right, anyway, Cauldron Complete is a 7-mana legendary equipment with living weapon and indestructible. Equipped creature gets +5/+5 and has First Strike, Trample, Indestructible, Haste. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. Equip 7.
Yeah, so this card is only interesting because of Stoneforge Mystic, and I think largely Batterskull is just better.
Yes, lifelink is why Batterskull matters in a lot of the creature matchups.
Batterskull has both lifelink and vigilance, which just like actually invalidates most aggressive strategies.
Yeah, this card
And this
it
card
doesn't do
isn't either.
anything.
Yeah.
It blocks. But that's it. Yeah, I don't expect to see this card in Modern at all. Or anything, really.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be good in Commander. It'll definitely be a sweet Commander card. Pick it up, etc. Liquid Metal Torque is a 2-mana artifact. It has tapped at colorless, and tap target non-land permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until end of turn. There was a Karn Ponza deck that used Karn plus Liquid Metal Coating to kill your opponent's lands, and then sometimes it played cards like Ancient Grudge, Abrade in the main deck to kill any other non-lands that you would use Liquid Metal Coating to turn into. Liquid Metal Torque can't hit lands, obviously, but you can use the theory of Ancient Grudge and Abrade to kill any other problematic permanent your opponent might have. And it's a ramp card, so it's like fine main deck and a ramp deck.
Yep.
Is that it?
Might be French play.
Yeah.
Next card.
We're skipping.
Nettle Cyst might be interesting.
I don't think
No.
so. No, I'm not in.
Okay.
Scion of Draco.
Scion of Draco is a 12-mana 4/4 artifact dragon. It has domain of this spell costs 2 less for each basic land type among lands you control. It has flying. It also says each creature you control has vigilance if it's white, hexproof if it's blue, lifelink if it's black, first strike if it's red, and trample if it's green. The list we posted has 4 Scion of Draco in it because Scion of Draco is broken.
Yep.
It is a
So, you can cast it on turn 2 if you get a Triome.
Yep.
But a lot of the time, you'll just cast it on... Or in the deck, the Cascade deck, you intentionally play very little 1-drops, only the Nicodle, in order to justify getting a Triome on turn 1 in order to cast this.
It also makes your Cascade cards better. You typically want to be playing this card not on turn 2, but a bit later, so you're able to get the combat bonus on the turn you attack with your creatures. But it's still a fine turn 2 play, like a 2-mana 4/4 flyer that does things if it sticks around is pretty decent.
Yep. It also does not get pushed. It's important to note.
It sure doesn't. All right, next card is Sojourner's Companion. 7-mana 4/4. Artifact creature salamander. Affinity for artifacts. Artifact land cycling 2. Mirror Enforcer 5.
Mirror Enforcer
5/8. That's it. That's the whole
Yeah.
card.
Popper Affinity, Bog.
Yep.
Yeah, Popper Affinity.
Yeah.
Artifact not cycling not element at all.
Nope.
Yeah, it power corrupts Mirror Enforcer because it's Salamander. And
Salamander.
Salamander's a
It does
Bog.
look pog. I'm in.
Alright, Soul Talisman, biggest slap in the face Wizards ever made. Next.
Yeah. It has suspend, so it's unplayable. All right, let's move on.
Sword of Hearth and Home.
I don't fucking know what this card does. Oh, this card's unplayable. Let's skip it. Underworld Cookbook.
Yeah.
We already talked about it.
Yep.
Victix Glove is the worst card in the set.
Pretty close. Alright, Void Mirror. Etron hit.
Void Mirror is a 2-mana artifact. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no color mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell.
Yeah, so it's good against all the pitch cards, and it's good against Etron and regular Tron.
I don't think the card's good.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. They printed a lot of land destruction in the set, notably the black card and the Dread Maw for red. That I don't think this card goes in very many decks as Etron hit.
Yeah, no. Void Mirror is not a card you're going to be seeing a lot of.
It's like, and like in Legacy, I think it just was the null god.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, you want to talk about Zabaz?
What card?
Zabaz,
The
the
Wasp.
Glimmer Wasp. It's a 1-mana legendary artifact creature with
Oh.
insect, modular 1. If a modular triggered ability would put one or more counters on a creature you control, put that many +1 counters on it instead. Red, destroy target artifact you control. White, Zabab gains flying until end of turn.
So this card is a strictly better Arcbound Worker, which is not saying much as that Arcbound Worker is a dog shit magic card.
True.
Do you think it's weird that a wasp doesn't have flying? Oh wait, you pay to give it flying. Never mind.
So bad.
Well, no, because it's an artifact, you have to like charge it up. Like you have to like plug it
Okay,
Oh, I hate
okay,
you.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
in.
sense.
Basic flavor.
Okay.
Anyway, so this card is like fine. It probably adds exactly one extra counter when you're going for a combo kill in scales, which is just not enough.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Scales is
interesting,
missable.
and then it's like an Arcbound worker, and like if you splash red, it kind of also acts as a sack outlet sometimes when you need one.
Yeah.
But
But
like
not
that's it.
really, because like
Yeah, you also really want free sack outlets in scales, especially.
yeah, like I see this. I think it's more interesting as a 1/1 that like gives you an extra counter and lets you like it kind of have combo payoff if you have 20 artifacts or 20 counters, like
Sure.
you can get self flying.
Yeah,
That's reasonable.
I think the flying is more interesting than the other one today.
sure.
I think I agree.
Yeah, there's also a green white Horizon Canopy land. It's not a green red one.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about Curse Totem because this is the best hate card in the set by far.
Yeah,
This card
Curse,
is
Curse
absurd.
Totem is a 2-mana artifact. Activated abilities of creatures cannot be activated. Fuck Heliod.
Fuck Heliod, fuck Scales.
Yep.
Is that it?
I don't know. Like, it just, like, beats a lot of other creature decks just randomly. It's like a card you're going to have in your sideboard randomly, and it's just going to be great at some points and do nothing at other points in the metagame.
Yep.
But it's not a card you're going to be, like, upset to have. It's a great
Yeah, it's
reprint.
something you have to remember when you're building your sideboards for sure.
Yeah,
This card is absurd.
like it still gets Skyclave Apparition, but Curse Totem plus Toper Orb is basically game over for any creature-based value deck.
Yep.
Just 0%. All right,
Next card,
Zernor?
Navini rolls disc.
I don't want to talk about Disc. Doesn't do anything. We already have Oblivion Stone.
I mean, so this one doesn't destroy planeswalkers.
Sure, but it
Which is
doesn't
a
come into play
bonus.
untapped, which is
Yeah.
bad for Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Zernor.
Zernorb, 0-mana
Yeah.
artifact. Sacrifice a land, gain 2 life. We talked about this a bit with Titania and how that combo goes infinite. Not infinite, but basically kills your opponent. This
And it's also interesting in Lantern.
Card is
Yes, Lantern. We haven't talked about Lantern because we haven't got to the Urza Saga yet, but Lantern is Pog. You just grab this off of Saga and you just gain some incidental life. It's not the worst card in the world.
It basically buys you time until you can find your
Bridge.
card's
Yeah.
good with Crucible of Wolves plus Fast Bond.
It is, in
Yeah.
fact, good with Crucible of Worlds and Fast Bond. How did you know?
Pog. I wonder if anyone's ever done that before.
Wow. All right, land cards. Arid Mesa. Arid Mesa is a... I'm not going to fucking do that. All right.
And so,
Artifact
we
lands
can
are
just-
commons,
yeah.
which is very important.
Yeah, artifact lands are the cycle of tap lands, standard tap lands, but they are artifacts and indestructible. Sweet.
Yeah, and they don't have the land types, which is important to note, which means they're not actually modern playable, but they're going to be very good in Pauper.
Yes.
So, the biggest thing about these for Affinity is they're indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
A really big issue with Affinity is people play the code Gorilla Shaman from time to time.
Yep.
And I don't know if you've ever had like multiple lands blown up by a gorilla shaman. You kind of just lose,
I have.
or like
And it
your
makes you want to
opponent,
stop
you're
playing
playing,
Pauper, like, a lot of Pauper gameplay.
Yes.
or you're like mono green shitters, and they go turn one creature. You go turn one land. They go turn one creature. You go turn two, like prophetic prism, and they go like play like cast lethal sabotage with like kicker.
Yeah.
Kind of just die. Like, and plays like that happen a lot with Affinity, which is kind of how it loses a lot of its games because the deck is like kind of class cannon-y. These fix that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, another
pretty
way
sick.
Affinity loses a lot of its games is it has two really shitty mana.
Yep,
Yeah.
and this
Fix
also
that.
fixes that. Yep.
These cards are like the tools Affinity got in the set in a second Mu Enforcer, and then these is like I cannot like overstate how big of a great Affinity is.
Yeah, Pauper, like the power level of Pauper went insane in the set between the Storm card and the new Affinity card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pauper's gonna be a
Oh,
bit weird.
before I say anything else, Affinity is going to be unplayable for a couple months.
Why?
Yeah, until they
Because-
ban Shitterstorm.
Affinity does not have any way to interact with like 30 schools on turn two, so
Sweet. Yeah, fuck squirrels.
All right, let's talk about Power Depot briefly. This card is just worse than whatever the card
yeah. Power Depot is a artifact land ETB's taps for colorless,
Oh yeah.
can tap for any color mana to cast artifacts, and has modular one. This card is worse than Yavimaya Reborn.
You mean
Lana
Lana Reborn?
Reborn. Yeah.
Yeah, Lana Reborn. Sorry.
Yeah, both of us couldn't remember the name.
It is not great. You have to sack the
Yeah.
artifact land in order for it to do anything. So, like, you have to have an
Next.
Arcbound Ravager in play. Next card is
Urza's Saga.
Urza Saga. It is a land enchantment saga. So when it enters the battlefield, you add
It's
a lore
Urza's
counter to
Saga.
it.
Urza's is his card type.
Oh, it is a card type Urza Saga. You're so right because it's an Urza land.
Yeah, it's the first card ever to have the same name and card type.
I'm pretty sure Uncle Isfan already takes that dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, get fucked.
No, I'm pretty sure Mountain takes that, and Plains
No,
takes
Mountain
that.
Mountain is basic Mountain. You idiot.
And this is enchantment land, retard.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, you're right. Shit.
Yeah.
Whatever. First real card. It's not basic land.
Yeah. Okay. So Urza's Saga is it's a land, so you just put it into play. You put a lore counter on it. First chapter is Urza's Saga gains tap, add colorless. Second chapter is Urza's Saga gains 2 tap, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. The third mode is search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1. Put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. There's a lot to talk about with this card.
Do you want to talk about it by format?
Sure, we'll start with Modern. In Modern, this card goes good in the Urza decks and Lantern.
I don't actually know it's good. It's that good in the Urza
You
deck.
missed, I think, the deck it's the best in, Chief.
Scales.
Amulet.
And Amulet.
Yeah, having a land that grabs Amulet of Vigor is
Yeah, you
pretty
put your
good.
Amulet into play uncounterably, which is
This deck, Amulet now has like a pretty easy kill of like playing turn one Urza Saga, and then like that turn or the next turn playing Amulet, and then turn 3 you just get a second Amulet, and like Tatum plus bounce land is a kill.
Correct.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty powerful. It's scary in Amulet. Obviously in Lantern it's great because you just grab any fucking piece you want, including any of the like 0 mana tutor pieces that work well with whatever you're playing against, like Zerno Orb, Welding Jar, Pithing Needle, Grave Hate, whatever. And the second mode is good against control right now. There are no Field of Ruins in the format because the main control deck is Esper Control. And Lantern Control traditionally has a hard time against control, especially once Archmage Charm gets printed into the format. But having a land that your opponent can't interact with that makes 2 pretty large beaters is going to be a little difficult for control post board. Yeah, I'm excited to have this card in Lantern to hopefully shore up the inconsistency of the deck right now. You want to talk about it in Legacy?
Legacy. I think the card has like she's playing like a few decks. The most among it is the like Card Echoes deck I've been playing a lot of. It's pretty good and like it hits a lot. Like so, means your deck doesn't just die to Multicolored as much because you can just make a couple shitters. It means you like so you play it on one, you play like a key on turn two, you can pretty easily activate it, make a shitter. Turn three, trigger on the stack, make a shitter, get an LED, and like you can cast echoes like. And
Yep.
you don't lose that much by cutting the fuck Lotus Veil? No,
Yes.
Crystal Vein. Okay.
Crystal Vein. Crystal Vein sucks anyway.
So you don't lose that much, and the past that I think it's good in uh like the Steel Stompy decks that people have played. I could see it like slotting into a lot of like random decks.
Yes.
Being able to make two uncountable creatures is like
Yeah.
pretty big.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention in Legacy, interaction of Urza Saga with Wasteland. Because the lore counter ability is a trigger that is placed on the stack, your opponent can Wasteland your land in response to the trigger, and you are not able to tap Urza Saga for mana.
That is true.
Yeah. That is something you do need to worry about, but thankfully it's not like a trick that'll happen unless your opponent wants to waste a crop rot doing it.
Yeah, and then the decks that tend to play Urza Saga are normally like semi-weak. To
Yeah, so they're the type of decks where you're not playing any basics anyway, so all of your opponent's wastelands are going to hit their graveyard as soon as they put them into play. So that interaction is almost never going to come up.
Yeah. All right, I think we're good with Urza Saga.
Yep.
yeah, the last card is Yavimaya, right?
Well, yeah,
the whole, and
not
Mishra's
not the
Factory.
last one, but yeah, Yavimaya, Cradle of the Growth is a legendary land. It says each land is a forest addition to other types. We got the second Urborg.
And the last Urborg.
Is this going to be the last Urborg?
Yeah, they're never printing a red one or a blue one or a white one.
Although it's not in.
Why? I could see a white one.
Yeah.
There is a boil for white for planes in the format.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. It seems sus.
Sure. There are ways to go sicko mode with that, but
Yeah,
I think they would.
it's possible.
Yeah.
It's not likely, but yeah. I don't think this card is actually that interesting. It's relevant in actually like vintage, like the Holo One deck, because it makes your Bazaar tap for green to pump your Root Walla in fringe situations.
yeah.
Like might be played as a 1-0.
I think that's just. I don't think that's relevant. It's just.
Oh wait, no. In Legacy and Vintage, you have the
Cradle.
No, the other one.
Urborg?
No, the one that in your Riftstone.
Oh.
Yeah, when it's in your graveyard.
Oh, you will. Like Hogak and Holloway just play guys, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, it is good in depths. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
It's
except it
good in
doesn't work
depth.
with Sex Mage.
Yeah. One of my main issues with Yavimaya
Like
in
Urborg is
modern,
better.
Yavimaya doesn't really do anything except in the smallpox piles with flagstones. The interaction of Urborg and flagstones and pox is just really good, and Yavimaya doesn't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's any green decks that play colorless lands that you wish they were green as well. Like me.
Yeah, and there's not really any cards that care about forests like there are cards that care about swamps.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. No.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the second to last card, Mishra's Factory. Mishra's Factory is a land. It taps for colorless. You can pay 1. Mishra's Factory becomes a 2/2 assembly worker artifact creature until the end of turn. It's still a land. Tap, target assembly worker creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Conditionally better Mutavault.
So, in decks that don't care about creature types, this is the Mutavault that blocks as a 3/3.
Yes.
Yep.
It's pretty
It's
decent.
like a marginal upgrade.
Yeah. There's not a lot to talk about this card because Mutavault isn't really playable in Modern. I wouldn't be surprised if Affinity ever comes back in any way. If they play Mishra's Factory, that's like pretty
I
Yeah,
can
useful.
if D&T comes back after like Sanctum Prelate gets printed, maybe.
I mean,
But I think D&T
can
is
also
just gonna be
see-
worse than humans.
yeah,
I can see this card slotting into E-Tron as like a 1 or a 2 of as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty significantly better than Mutavault in those decks that it might warrant an inclusion.
yes.
Like being able to block Goblin Guide is a pretty big game.
And then there used to be a colorless Eldrazi deck in Modern.
But that was back when you had Spirit Guide.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spirit Guide was what made that deck interesting over E-Tron. Now there's just no reason to play it.
Yes, that is correct. All right, last card in the set that we're going to talk about is Sanctum Prelate. Sanctum Prelate is for 1 white, a 2/2 human cleric. When it enters the battlefield, choose a card number. Non-creature spells with mana value equal to the chosen number can't be cast. This is the buy a box promo for the set, so you will not be able to get this in a box. You will get it with a box, though. This card is one of the more powerful cards in white. It's going to be very good in humans. You just put it on 1, and it allows your meddling mages to name all of the 2 or 3 mana cards that will give you issues. This card is
Damn.
damn. Yeah, you just name
Damn.
damn with meddling mage and then 1 on prelate, and your opponents can really never deal with your creatures again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to like have to fade to make it up and stuff.
Yeah,
It makes, like,
if you can survive against
Well,
prowess with a prelate, you just like put it on 1 and your opponent can't win. It's not like
Yeah.
it counters the spells. You just can't cast them. No prowess triggers allowed. It's insane.
Yeah, your opponent has to find a Searing Blaze. Like, Meddling Mage on Searing Blaze and Sanctum Prelate's basically just a locked against burn. Humans.
Yeah, Sanctum Prelate's really good. I'm excited. All right, I think that's it.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Modern going forward with this set?
I think this set's actually really good for Modern. I think it added a lot of support to, like, Tier 2 archetypes, and it did not push any Tier 1 archetype over the top. The only thing that I'm worried about, like, the deck that I'm worried the most about is Bubble Hulk. Like, if Bubble Hulk's just insane, then I think Wizards fucked up. But if it's just, like, a good combo deck, then I'm really happy with this set.
Yeah, we don't get good combo decks anymore. Not allowed. But
Yeah, it's actually not allowed in Modern, which makes me sad, but...
any time when Lantern becomes a Tier 2 deck, Magic's in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah?
Well, the one thing I don't like from the set that I'm really unhappy about is that the red pitch card doesn't have flash.
Oh, okay.
mad.
The main thing we mentioned infinite amount of times?
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually disagree with most of there. I think the thing I'm the most unhappy about is that any of the bitch cards have flash.
Except for the counter spell, yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, the counter spell should have flash. Well, actually, I think that card shouldn't exist.
Yeah, I don't like that card exists.
I've talked about this before, but Modern should not be a format with free zero mana instance. It felt like I feel like that's the biggest dividing line between Modern and Legacy is
Yeah, I agree.
that Legacy is defined by zero mana interaction and whatnot, and Modern's about doing stuff on your own turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Modern, I think what Wizards has screwed up is that they're making it too much like Legacy. Like before, like 2019, 2018 Modern, like you were doing very powerful zero mana things on your turn, but you couldn't do them on your opponent's turn. And now it's just the complete reverse. Or like on your turn, the best you can do is like play a couple shitters and attack.
Yeah. They printed
Like-
how many free spells in the set? 8?
a lot.
Something like that.
Yeah, so like their philosophy from Modern Horizons 1 hasn't changed. They think that Modern should be the format with the free spells because they can't really curate Legacy as much as they used to back when the cards were cheap.
Yeah.
It sucks, but what can you do? All right, I think that's it for this.
As I said, I have a fixed.
Yeah, they basically moved the line to. They moved the line from between Legacy and Modern to Modern and Pioneer. Where Pioneers, this is the format where just nothing that costs 0 is legal.
Yes.
And then Modern, they're adding a lot more broken things.
Yeah.
Pioneer is also just a format where you cannot combo your opponent, right?
Yeah, they're not allowing that to happen.
Well, yeah, after they banned 5 combo decks. The worst ban list announcement of all time.
True. That was fucking dumb.
Literally, that was one of the worst days of my life. I was unhappy. I was mad.
Yeah. Underworld Breach.
As an Esper control player, I was mad because they made my deck worse.
By banning none of the cards in it.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
By banning 5 combo decks, my deck lost its best matchup.
I just don't think they understand how bans actually affect formats.
Yeah.
Like they do the math to see like, hey, this card's too good, let's ban it. But then they don't like think about the repercussions of what happens when that card's banned.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Oko and Mox Opal. Just fucking stupid. And Hogak and Faith is Looting. Like, come on.
Yes.
Like, I don't know who at Wizards was like losing their mind that like thought that Phoenix and Dredge would be better than Urza after Hogak was banned. They were on some lewds, dude.
Yeah. What if we just unban?
No,
what if we just unban
no.
Hogak now that looting's
No, you think what?
banned?
What? What, Michael?
The insane thing is that before banning Faithless Looting or Hogak, they're like, Hogak's an issue. Let's just ban Bridge Below. That's the only problem with this deck.
Yeah, the only problem with this deck is that it combo kills your opponent.
It's
not
not
that
the
it puts 16 power into play on turn 2.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You're allowed to do that.
Also, the deck. So let's make this deck like not fun to play. Let's just make it a shitty aggro deck. That's like
Hell
too
yeah.
good. It's a powerful combo deck.
Shitty aggro. My favorite. Wizard's favorite too.
Shitty combo decks are the most fun to play.
Oh yeah, Underworld Breach in Modern, one of the most fun decks to play.
That wasn't a shitty combo deck until you
Haunted
put Squee into
Scales?
it. Not Squee, Fibblethip.
Yeah, after we cut Fibblethip from the deck, it became much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that was a coincidence?
I said Fibblethip triggered my Sword of the Week more than once out of that.
Oh my god.
Pretty happy.
Dude, I remember playing that on the card right now and just giggling.
That sounds so hot.
Yeah, and then we put a fucking Kolaghan's command in our sideboard.
No, making the sideboard of let's go to Michael's Tree Binder and grab random cards and all colors are sweet.
Yeah, and we ended up playing one Shenanigans, one Kolaghan's return, and one Kolaghan's command, and one Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Shenanigans was just the best card in the deck. It won me so many games.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Dude, the fact that I 9-0'd that event I did at day 2.
Yeah. Pretty insane. And, like, me and Josh didn't do too bad. We were both positive, and just our losses lined up so poorly we didn't day 2.
So unlucky.
Yeah.
Alright, I think that's it. There's nothing else to talk about, I don't think.
Yeah.
We're all pretty fucking
Michael
tired
rants about
too.
nothing.
Yep. Alright,
Yeah, Vinny kind of fucked us.
yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
He just keeps joining the call and leaving. He's probably asleep.
I think he's asleep, yeah, and his computer he's doing his thing.
Sweet. Alright, that's gonna do it for this episode. And by this episode, I mean, might be the only episode. Who fucking knows?
We might make another one for the next Modern Horizons or the next Master set or whatever.
I mean, Master sets don't really do anything unless it's like a Pioneer Masters.
Not Master sets. But the next
Friends.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
the
like
next
even
set,
like
that's-
Battle Bond sets aren't like high enough power level to warrant something like this.
No, we'll do something about this again if they release fucking Eldraine again.
True. Eldraine
Yeah.
Eldraine remastered.
Ooh, Oko 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Oko 2 mana, and start at 1 loyalty.
Right in 7.
God. Our humor is so bad.
No.
Oh, that's a good joke. Right in 7 is actually a good joke.
I mean, you're definitely not the first person to make it, but yes, it is
Yeah,
a good
I know.
joke.
No, I'm pretty sure that any joke that me or Wilson makes, so we're the first one to ever make it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's
canon.
fine. Okay. How do you want to end the episode?
I think we just did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate everything.